them the story of when you learned you could smell again and how
Okay.
long that was since your last dose. He was only up on 3 streams, guys. Like, come on, man. Who do you think you're fooling? And he's playing these weird games. So now it's like, okay, I admit I was on the drugs during the stream, but you don't know which streams. So you'll never really know. And I have the power. Oh, bro. These shots are ruthless, bro.
Very, very
All right,
funny.
we're
Here we
going to
go.
have a look at the Rekieta experience.
Strap
folks.
in, folks. Hit like if you're watching on the
Buckle
Clip
up.
channel.
Hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell.
Tell your friends.
Whoa, buddy. Don't forget to ring the bell.
And if you don't, we will find you in.
We discovered the sentence, the punishment, the conclusion for this coke-fueled saga of baldos and butt plugs and goo eating and Q-overs. The sentence was 5 years probation. No liquor, no drugs, no nothing. Rekieta's sentenced to a half decade of sobriety. He was given 80 hours of community service where he's going to have to work for something that doesn't benefit him and take orders from some guy he thinks he's smarter than. So they'll probably never be completed. And the best, the beast there is the sauce, 30 days in jail.
Wow.
August 1st, San Diego. August 1st, San Diego. Nick Rekieta will report at 7 p.m. to jail unless he sucks his probation officer's penis good enough for the next number of months. Then if he shines the fucking PO shoes with his tongue, if he tongue punches his fart box, if he tickles his fancy and jacks him off to completion, then he might be able, then he might be able to escape jail time, but only after complying like a bitch.
Yes.
Being degraded by daddy government.
No booze or anything. That's his nightmare. His nightmare is fucking no booze or anything. And you'll see, guys, now he's the victim,
We're
apparently.
going to go into his response to this because that very day, or not that very day, because he was scared of Minnesota Public Records. And he was scared of the Keno Casino, and he was scared of the Kiwi Farms.
Yeah.
He bitched out. But the next day, he seethed on locals, so he did his seethe behind the paywall to see how his most diehard, most dented cultists would take to it. And then I guess he got enough confidence finally to crawl out of his hole and tell everybody on YouTube. But before we get to that, let's just have a look here. This is Kurt's response to Rekieta. This is short, but very, very sweet.
He's playing
here
Schedule 1.
Charles McGill Esquire here playing Schedule 1, and he has a message for Baldo.
Very fun game, by the way.
By the way, just in case anyone's curious, I'm aware that Nick Rekieta apparently recorded a 50-minute video ranting at me. My response to anything Nick Rekieta says basically from now until the end of forever is that he is a felonious, adulterous, drug-using cuck.
Let's go!
I'm pretty sure that I win every argument from here until the end of time.
That's right, because Kurt's not a cuck. You're a cuck, Rekieta. You're a felon, Rekieta. You're an adulterer, Rekieta. And worst of all, you're baldoed, buddy.
Yikes.
All the arguments forever.
Rekieta.
But he's felt it.
Kurt just won inside 30 seconds. Rekieta, the virgin Rekieta 50-minute seethe sesh versus the Chad Kurt 30-second Felton.
Yo.
Let's go. Oh, so before we get into the full YouTube stream and the full local stream, we're going to have a look at a clip here that I think illustrates where Rekieta's mindset is. Not this one. We'll close with this Third World Aristocrat clip.
Yes.
But here's Rekieta talking about how he misses the life. Now, you think after you just got done getting sentenced to jail, a half decade of probation, community service, your children were taken away, you'd think that you'd show some sort of repentance. You'd think that you'd show some sort of penitence, like, I did wrong. I was an addict. These drugs took over my life. I was powerless before my addiction. Please, like, forgive me. I hope my children can forgive me for the impact I had on them. What I did is indefensible. All I can try and do is be a better person going forward. And a lot of people would still give you shit. And a lot of people would be like, it's inexcusable. Your daughter tested positive for cocaine. What a horrible monster you are. But at least, and a lot of people would say it's fake, but at least you would be faking what the correct response would be.
Some people would accept it.
You know, some people would accept it. But instead, he's like doubling down and insisting that he never did anything wrong. He was never actually an addict. Addiction is only for like a certain other class of person that's lower and stupider than him. When in reality, addiction afflicts every walk of life. And it's because he thinks he's better than the people that are addicts, his fellow addicts. He will never get any better.
Look at him.
He'll
here.
never humble himself. Like he was in the fucking rehab circle. He looks like a meth head. He looks like a crackhead. He looks and he's in a circle in a rehab room with all the same people looking around. And at no point did it dawn on him, I am that now. That's what I've become. He always viewed himself as better than his fellow addicts and that he could stop at any time, even though he couldn't, even though he paid additional thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to not have to comply with drug testing during his trial. So here he is. Here's his mindset, basically in a nutshell. And it's why the guy's going to end up failing his probation and going to prison, because he's not fucking learned anything at all.
Okay, let's check it out.
Matthew Perry's lived the life, the party life for 2 years, marching powder, high-end alcohol, and ladies of the night.
By the way, is his nose more lowered and rounded down? Look at it.
I don't know. God gave him such a nose for cocaine.
But
I mean,
it's like a, I don't even know how to explain it. It looks like a penis, doesn't it?
It does kind of look like a penis. I think it's the drugs ate away at it and fucked him up.
Oh, it's like shiny as fuck.
Finished rehab last year, 200K down. Don't miss the drugs, but I missed the life. Okay, that's something that people probably don't get. The drugs and alcohol are easy to not do. Drugs
But
are
Stop the
They're not, bro. Like you haven't learned anything. That, and by the way, even if that was true, that's not what people want to hear, Rekieta.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear that from you. They want to hear you admit some level of fault. Say, listen, I lost control. I fell off the wagon.
They
I
don't
couldn't
believe
stop.
you.
This is because, like, I could just stop at any time. Well, why
Okay.
didn't you stop before your children were starving, before they were stinking, before they came to their pastor for help? Because you were a fucking monster. How come you didn't stop before your daughter got into the cocoa, bro? If you could stop at any time, how come you didn't stop before you were arrested? If you could stop at any time, if you were totally in control of your behavior and all of your decision making was totally logical and rational, how did it end up like this, bro? It was a conspiracy, dude, by the government, is basically the cope at this point. It's just crazy.
really easy to not do because drugs are expensive, they're hard to get, and they're risky.
Wait a
So
second, bro.
wait a minute, despite the fact that they're so expensive, they're so hard to get and so risky, you still did
got
them.
high every day.
You still got high every single day and neglected your kids to where they were hungry and they were stinking, and your daughter tested positive for coke. And ultimately, that's what this all comes down to, Rekieta. Have some measure of humility. Humble yourself. Apologize. Admit fault. But it's all still that he was smarter than everybody else. He's a genius.
Back in the day when I was doing drugs, I was broke. Do you think that stopped me?
You know?
Do you think I was like, well, it's expensive. I'm going to be sober now. You figure it out with your boys. You know what I mean? Come on.
So it's pretty easy to not do them. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to downplay addiction.
Yeah, that's how every drug addict stops doing drugs, by the way. They go, oh, it's expensive. I'll just
I better
quit.
stop. Mhm.
Yeah.
No, they don't just turn to crime or unsavory methods that harm society.
Exactly.
And that's part of why drugs should not be hard drugs like this should not be legal in society.
Exactly.
Because people will do anything to get a hold of them, and all they want to do is the drug. And it doesn't just affect them. It affects their family. It affects the society in which they live. Do you really want to live in a society where there's fucking fentanyl zombies all over the fucking place?
No.
Because Rekieta said, "Oh, bro, but we'll get into that later. We'll get into that later."
My freedoms, dude. I want a fucking a city full of heroin and coke addicts. Like, no.
I know, like, opiate addiction is a real thing that's really fucking terrifying. And
wait, opioid addiction, but not coke, not alcohol.
But he didn't just have coke. He had ketamine in that room. He had all sorts of degen shit.
Fucking ridiculous.
When I was in treatment, the guys who are addicted to meth, like they talked about an inability to go to the store because they knew where the meth dealer was at every store. So they would have to have people go with
to me is how Rekieta can't apply this to his own experience.
Yes, exactly.
How it's like, man, I feel like I couldn't stream without having a drink because people would ask me to toast their dead relatives or their accomplishments. And then what ended up happening is it spiraled from there. Once I had 2, 3, 4 drinks, then I wasn't thinking straight. And I ended up having 10, 11, 12, 15 fucking drinks. And then it was a total nightmare. Like, he can't see himself in the other addicts, which is the whole point of going to that meeting, is to see that other people are struggling like how you are, and to see your own behavior in them, and to see, okay, if they're able to stop, maybe I can stop. That's not the whole reason, but it's a good reason to go. But he always views himself as being like in a special holy class above everybody else.
Yeah.
Compulsively buy meth. They'd steal. They get in fights to try and get this drug. Like, that is a level of,
bro, Rekieta, you had coke, like tons of coke in safe and K and fucking and brown powder. You tons of it. But they're the ones who are addicted.
Rekieta doesn't understand. It's like, okay, so Rekieta is like, oh, those guys, they committed crimes for it. They did this, they did that. But he can't see, oh, I abandoned my kids for it. I didn't feed my kids. You know, they ended up having stinking clothes.
You're a fucking child.
The daughter ended up getting exposed, whether it was by accident.
Well, that, and then the bullet.
You know, it's like, bro, like, this had consequences on other people. And it goes to show, like, when it came to that same point for you, where there's all these negative consequences, just like for them, where they're stealing or whatever, you couldn't stop. You saw all of that going on. You saw your life falling apart. You saw your income decreasing because you weren't fucking streaming. You saw all of these negative consequences. People losing respect for you, people calling you out, all of this, and you still couldn't stop. This is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Of dependency that I don't understand.
But
I'm not trying to downplay that.
You also have experienced the same thing, man. The only reason that you weren't robbing people to keep your addiction going is because you had a trust fund.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Otherwise, who knows what you would have done to keep the drugs flowing.
Yeah, and that person's rock bottom is stealing, and your rock bottom should be you lost your career.
And your kids.
You know what I mean?
Exists. But things like coke is very, very different from those things. One, it's really, like, I guess it's expensive.
So that's worse.
It's expensive
because you use all your money that you made on it, and you have no money to show anymore. Now, maybe like the meth is obviously worse for you, but like, well, it's expensive, so it's better. How?
I don't even know what point he's trying to make. Let's hear him out.
It's kind of the way it's looked at, but it's not. But it is. How do I explain it? Coke is a budget destroyer because it's not expensive. You can buy like an 8-ball of cocaine, which is
not expensive.
That's what he's trying to tell us, is that cocaine is not expensive.
But it is.
Now there's a great many people who have got completely bankrupted from purchasing cocaine.
But didn't he say it was
including
expensive?
like big time celebrities and stuff like this? He's saying it's expensive, but it's not. Basically, what he's saying is he doesn't do disgusting poor people drugs like crack. He has $200 a day to waste on coke.
Oh.
A lot of people don't make $200 a day at all. But he's trying to flex that he has $200 a day to flush down the drain on drugs. And that's why he shouldn't go to jail or face probation, because he's a different class of addict. He's better than other addicts because he comes from wealth and privilege.
Several days of pretty heavy use for one person for like $200.
But it wasn't like a weekend. Let's not act like this was like you bought an 8-ball for fucking Friday and Saturday night and then chilled on Sunday.
It's not like suddenly, like here's what he's trying to make it out like. He was out in Vegas or Minneapolis partying with Aaron. And Aaron called the cops and snitched that in the hotel room there was coke, and then they raided him and he got busted. What actually was going on is this guy was living a day-to-day lifestyle of debauchery where there wasn't a day that went by where he wasn't high on cocaine and drunk. And he had a swinging, queue over in his house where his children were confused. They had a new mommy or a new nanny, and he was fucked up all the time. This wasn't like some weekend adventure. No, he was completely fucked up all the time, to the point where even the people at his church were concerned, and they ratted on him because they were concerned for the sake of the children.
Yeah.
But
he acts like, it's just, we spent $200 for the weekend.
See,
it's different.
If you can afford that, and if you have $400, you'll buy 2. If you have $600, you'll buy 3, because you could do a lot.
So
it is really addictive. Yeah, it is uncontrollable. Yeah.
Wait. I don't think but at this point is all over the place.
Of cocaine without dying. It's really weird how it works. And so it's a budget destroyer in that
until you get cocaine that's laced with Fent or cocaine that's cut with all sorts of up shit.
I don't care if you have the cleanest coke in the world. Eventually, your nose is going to be stuffed up. You're going to be blowing blood out your nose.
Eventually, you're blowing blood out of your fucking nose like second weekend in.
And you're like blowing out that shit in the shower, like giant pieces that are gross. I don't even want to describe them. And then you're like, your brain's up. It actually
destroys your fucking brain. You'll never be the same.
Yeah, like you think,
and that's why he's not the same now. And it's not just coke; it's all the other shit that he was on, including the whippets and stuff that he does to try and evade drug testing and stuff like this. Ketamine. Like, God only knows, man, what this shit all does to you.
Well, and also you're buying shit. You don't know what's in it, mixed with speed. Probably meth is in there. Like, come on. Like, let's not act like it's like the cleanest Colombian right off the fucking,
if it's available and you have the means to buy it, you will buy and do more because you just kind of can. And its effect is so short that people just, they get the effect. They start to come down, then they do more.
Yeah.
And they do more, and then they do more.
Do you not see that that's what you did? Or is that only just for the plebs that aren't like the master of drugs like you?
This is really okay.
Like he couldn't, he couldn't handle it. Like the proof is in the pudding of how this all ended up, by the way. And he just still refuses to acknowledge it. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Not expensive, but it is. But it's only as expensive as you can afford. When you can't afford anymore.
Wait, but
it's only as expensive as you can afford.
Anything is as expensive as you can afford.
That's the truth with every drug. What he basically just said is, but wait a minute. What he basically just said is it doesn't matter what your income is, because you're going to blow all of your money on this no matter what income range you're at, whether you're poor or rich. What you're going to spend whatever money you have left over on it.
But that term can be used for anything. Video games, okay, they're expensive, but they're not expensive. You could buy as many games as you want until you could afford it. It's like, yeah, I could buy 1,000 games right now, but pretty bad idea because it's gonna ruin my life. Like that makes no sense. Anything in the world is he okay?
No, he's not okay. And this guy's gonna end up in prison. He is.
Yeah.
He hasn't learned anything.
And you're right, this shit like for any drug.
Just gone. And when it's gone, like you're not sucking dick for coke. Well, I mean, chicks do it all the time, but like
right. So
okay,
people
do it.
People do suck for coke, buddy, all the fucking time. Holy.
People suck dick for drugs, I guess.
Didn't you taste Aaron's?
Yes, they did.
You gave your wife to Aaron.
You're a cock.
Like,
but those drugs are cheaper and easier to get.
Oh my god, he's acting like coke is like
he's
the
all
special
over
drug.
The place.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Right. Trying to get a consistent supply of cocaine just requires money. But like once it's there,
no shit.
Wait, what? Like, what does that mean? Yeah. You have to find a dealer.
Yes, he's trying to brag about how badass he is, that he had connections to cocaine because he was so rich.
But you walk into a bar and you just go like this to anyone, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I know a guy. One sec."
And you have access to it. Like you buy up to your means, I guess is the way to describe it. And so that's
what I'm gonna tell you all a little thing about cocaine and being addicted. Okay, you don't buy cocaine conservatively. You're not like, okay, here's my $80, my good sir. You go like, let's get lit tonight. You know what I mean?
Like, makes it expensive because you can just kind of keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. But once it's gone, it's just gone, and you don't have it.
What are you talking about?
Any drug,
bro. The guy's like rambling. Like I'm not convinced. You know, he's not on drugs right now. In fact, I'm convinced he probably is on drugs right now. Why is he talking like this? Like the guy is talking like he's addicted to the smell of his own farts, as though he thinks that he's saying something really profound. But all he really said is that when something is gone, it's gone, which is like something a second grader that realized object permanence could tell you. Like once you eat all the Smarties in the container or marshmallows, there are no more. Whoa, the stunning revelations of Mr. Rekieta.
I like this. It's fascinating that Andy can translate the Coke language.
Anymore. If you don't have access to it, it's not, in my opinion, there's very short come down. It's like maybe 12 hours to a day feeling like garbage. Okay. And then you wake up and then you're fine. Like it's
okay, but hang on. That's if you're like doing it once in a weekend and you weren't doing it all the time. The way you were doing it, that's like at least a year worth of like headaches and like your nose being fucked up.
Tell them the story of when you learned you could smell again. And how long that was since your last dose.
Yeah, so when I moved to Florida, the whole like failure arc and all that stuff, failure and Alex arc. So like it had been, I think, like at least 5 months since I had done coke, right? And before that, I was doing it for like 1.5 years, 2 years straight. That's when I was like a massive cokehead. So I'm in a fucking Denny's or some shit, or like the Montanas. We're in a Montanas. I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. My like fucking nose was hurting, right? It's like 5 months later. Remember, I went to the fucking toilet. I blow my nose, and a giant, will look to be a miniature brain, like squirt, like the brain from fucking Baldur's Gate 3 from the first area came out of my fucking face, and I'm just like, oh, I'm like, oh my god, I could breathe. I step outside, and I realized I hadn't smelled food in over a year. And I went, oh my god.
So Rekieta will tell you all the effects of like months, years long cocaine disappear in 12 hours. That's not the case.
Yeah.
That's not the case at all.
At all.
And then you're like, okay.
Yeah,
well,
and by the way, it does make food very unappealing, by the way.
I don't have that
That's why he's so skinny. Look at him.
anymore, and you're just done. And you don't really like. You don't ever. I don't know. I never felt like I needed it. It's just fun.
Come
So
on.
you just do it.
Stop it.
But
You're an addict, you
But
fucking
you know
idiot.
what? I gotta say, like, this argument makes him look worse. It's better off if you say, "Oh my God, I wanted to stop every day. I wanted to stop.
You're
I could see
right.
how it was hurting my kids, how it was hurting my marriage, how it was hurting my relationship with God and my church, how I lost all these friends, my career fell apart, but I was a slave to my addiction. I couldn't stop. You have to understand." Instead, he's saying, I had full control the whole time as my life went to hell, and I just chose to let it go to hell
Wow.
because I was having fun. What he's
Ashton.
saying is actually worse.
Wow. You know what's crazy? You say that? The last 6 months of me doing drugs, I would do it and go, what am I fucking doing? Every line am I doing? Why am I doing this? And then it's like it comes down back on it. And it was like a fucking demon taking care, like control of you.
He's just not being honest.
Oh my God.
Because by the way, there's nobody out there that drinks and does drugs every day that's actually a happy person.
No.
The reason you're drinking and doing drugs every day is because deep down you're a very unhappy person and you're trying to compensate for failings and insecurities somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, there can be a happy person and use in moderation or something like that. But if you're getting drunk and f***ed up on coke every single day,
You're not happy.
that's not the sign of a happy person or somebody that's having fun. That's not a fun lifestyle.
No, it's not. And yeah, I'm being real about this because I hope it helps someone out there who's addicted to something like that hard.
But anyway, it's not the drugs and the alcohol. That's not the problem. It's all the stuff that you're doing while you're doing the drugs and the alcohol.
It is the drugs that are the problem, sir. There are some drugs that cannot be done responsibly. There are some drugs that are inevitably going to lead to your life completely falling apart. Is he really saying that heroin isn't the problem? That it's on the heroin user or something like this? Come on, bro.
The thing is, hang on, wait.
Here's the chemical thing that happens. Both alcohol and cocaine are dopamine releases, and like dopamine floods in your brain.
Wait. Not the drugs and alcohol that do the negative thing. It's the things in your brain that happen when you do the drugs and alcohol.
So it is the drugs and alcohol. Then I just don't understand.
Oh my God.
It's like this is a guy whose life has been ruined by drug use, and he's going to talk like he's some sort of expert on it, as though there's a good way to use these hard drugs.
No.
You know, like it's
isn't.
crazy.
Brain. And so everything that you do while doing them is awesome. And it's great.
What?
So everything that you do while doing them is awesome. And it's great. It's funny because like you feel.
Was it awesome and great when your kids were begging for food and you ignored them?
Yeah.
Was that an awesome
apparently.
and great feeling? What are you talking about? Was it awesome and great when your daughter is asking for a change of clothes because she stinks? Was that awesome and great? Like what are you talking about, sir?
Like you can do anything, but you really don't do that much. But your brain is processing everything with its reward system. So everything's cool. So you really start to enjoy the life that's associated with it.
Whoa. That's addiction. That's literally what addiction is.
Oh my God.
Is you need the drug to get that dopamine hit, and you enjoy that level of dopamine. And when you're not on it, you're depressed because your body is so used to being like he's explaining addiction, but he's going, this is not addiction. Oh my God.
I just wanted
This
to play
angers
this
me.
because it just
This
shows the
angers me.
guy's mindset when it comes to drugs. Like he's not upset that, you know, like his life was ruined. He's just upset that he got caught.
Yeah.
That's it. Like he wishes he could still be using to this day and neglecting his family and his career and letting everything fall to shit. He's just upset that people interceded to help him. The thing is, if nobody interceded, if the church didn't intercede or the mandatory reporter intercede, the police come and stop him, he would probably be dead right now.
Yeah. After
He would
seeing that last
probably be
stream,
dead.
Remember the last stream that like we was JOing on screen?
Music, dancing, clubbing, whatever it is that you're doing with those heavy dopamine releases becomes associated with those things.
Okay, but here's the problem with those. You also start to be fucking degen. You start doing like, I never went that far, but what he did with his fucking wife and orgies and shit, your brain becomes all stim. You become stim dicked. You become like all fucking.
But wait, this guy's in his 40s. Why is he going out to nightclubs anyway?
Exactly.
You know, you have children at home.
You have kids.
Like what is wrong with you?
Come on.
That's the part that gets kind of taken away, is that lifestyle. But that lifestyle is coded.
No. Oh my god, the clubbing, bro! I'm 37. I wouldn't even think about heading to a club, bro. You're 37, dude, or you're 42. What is wrong with you? The clubbing is over. When you had your first kid, the clubbing was over.
It's because he wants to watch his wife have sex with other men. It's degenerate, bro.
That's wild.
In your head chemically as amazing. It's not that amazing. Like some things, sex is always great. Like it's you know, engineered to be great.
So you're admitting you
like,
permanently fucked up your brain chemistry in your 40s because you feel like you missed out when you were young. Like, how retarded are you?
Yep.
Coded in your head with this drug thing. So like that lifestyle of I guess high risk sexual behavior becomes like something that becomes
high risk sexual behavior.
Letting your wife sleep with another man is actually high risk sexual behavior.
Well, then he's fucking other people too.
Whoa, buddy!
Buddy, you telling me at the what it was called, the fucking shack, the sex
the
shack?
gay 90s or the pure pleasure?
He's
the soda.
Like,
bro,
look at him.
He was
look at
sucking.
him. Drank Aaron's.
Very.
He
that's
drank.
the addiction, in my opinion. Not like an expert, just like that. You get addicted
Didn't he
to
play
going
Naked Twister with Aaron?
Yes, he played Naked Twister with Aaron. Yes, he allowed Aaron to put him up on a sex cross and whip him with a cat of nine tails. Like, these are the stories of debauchery that these are just what we've heard that they were comfortable telling us about.
Yeah.
Swapping wives. Like, whoa.
The ear biting.
Out.
The guy licked his face on camera, licked his ear. Whoa, licking another man's ear is queer.
People, especially if you're doing like Molly, right? Because you just love everybody around you. Everything is great. Like
this guy is explaining drugs like fucking like an 18-year-old.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's this really cool new thing, dude. It's
Molly,
like, oh, bro, you squares have never done any of this shit. Like, save us, spare us, buddy. Like,
be out and talk to people and stuff. And that gets coded. Molly's a different thing, a serotonin dump, but like it's the same thing. It's a reward system of your brain saying you love this and you want this. And Molly specifically produces oxytocin, which makes you feel like you love everyone around you, literally. And that's the part that you miss, or that I miss is like it's the associated.
So you miss the association of being on drugs. But I'm not addicted.
But he's not addicted at all, guys. He never had a problem.
That's how the drugs are addictive.
Activities. And that's the stuff where it's like, I know if I go out to a club now or go out to a bar now.
Listen, get a hobby. Go to the gym. Figure it out. Go play golf. Like, I don't know, figure out a new hobby. The club? You couldn't pay me to head to a club.
I could go out to
You
them
know, he's
sober, but I
going
wouldn't
out
have
to a club in rural Minnesota, by the way.
worst
Like,
clubs too. Yeah.
what is he doing? He's going to gay 90s. He's going to gay bars in his 40s because he likes the music.
Yeah.
Right.
I would not be having the fun that my brain thinks it should have. And that reward system's killed. You miss, that's the thing. I get it entirely. I miss the life. Yeah. You miss all of those
the
activities
life.
you were doing.
You hear that? He says he misses the life. The life that led to
Of
him
drugs.
losing his kids to fucking CPS. The life that led to him being in county fucking blues, where all of his law tube peers were looking at him in chains. What he had done to others, their worst day being his best day, was done to him. And then all of the lies and all of the cope as he got exposed again and again and again by Minnesota Public Records, people on Kiwi Farms, the casino, just the humiliation over and over and over again. His daughter testing positive for cocaine. That's what this lifestyle led to, Nick. And you still miss the lifestyle? You still wish it never ended. Buddy, I'm just saying, and by the way, we're going to get into, he's going to cope about how the government is monitoring him and he can't do drugs and whatever. It's like, you did have a choice to go to jail and still do drugs, right? You know, they have drugs in jail. You're being offered the opportunity to stay out of a jail cell, and all you have to do is stay sober. You had the option to go to jail and sell your ass to get drugs, Nick. So you chose the other option. You chose for the mercy and leniency of the court for your actions. Anyway, let's go to the next part.
I have some coffee. 1 second.
All right. So I hesitate on showing this because it is so boring, but this is the opening of Rekieta's stream on YouTube. This is how he made after like almost a year-long absence. This is how he chose to make his return to the air.
Well, guys, strap in, have some fun.
Skip in about 40 seconds because it's just a little intro here.
Okay, sure thing. Here we go.
Host Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small yet suspended law firm.
The feltoning of it. It's a small yet suspended law firm. He can't even practice law, buddy. Like, Baldo, like, holy, buddy.
Wait, can you even put that on your, like above him? Rekieta Law?
It's
There's
more
no
like
law.
Rekieta Crime.
Yeah.
It's more so the name of the program now.
Rekieta Crime.
Central Minnesota, everything is coming up.
Yeah, that tart belt, by the way, is amazing. It sounds really
Let's
good.
go.
It's really good.
And what a year it has been.
Yeah.
Bro, look how felted he is there.
Alaska, let's go to jail. This is
he's
boss.
got his eyes like downcast, like the shame on him.
What a
he
year,
should be
folks.
ashamed. Wow, guys. Rekieta Lawless? Don't give him ideas. He might actually change it to that.
Yeah, that's actually good.
Woo!
That was a weird move.
That
wasn't
was
it?
cringe,
that
buddy.
had a like.
But it's good to be back.
Is it?
It's good to be back. I am.
The chat was brutal, by the way, folks.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
So he's just starting it off by like cope laughing. So he's reading the chat without a word of a lie. Pretty much every comment is negative. Your daughter tested positive for coke. You're a criminal. You're a scumbag. And all he can do is sit there looking at it, looking at the fruits of his labors and cope laugh.
Yeah. It's sad.
He's reap what he sowed.
He looks so greasy. By the way, his nipples are protruding. Look.
I mean, the thing is, right? He does look, I'll give him a bit of credit. I think he looks better when he first came out of jail.
True.
But the thing is, he still looks so fucking bad that you'd be sure he was still on fucking cocaine every day.
Look,
he still looks terrible.
If he's off the drugs, it will take him a while to flip back. So we'll see. We'll see.
Why am I so skinny? Where'd my meat?
I have no hope, by the way.
Like I weigh way more than when I got arrested. So this will be great.
Well, I mean,
but hey.
like something weighs more than nothing. You were on death's door when you got arrested. You had probably 6 weeks left to live, to be honest.
It's great to see you all. It really is. I have been trying to figure out what exactly to do.
By the way, can you just tell he's so slow and so wet brain? Zoom into his eyes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, man. This is a seriously low IQ individual.
He looks different, doesn't he?
He is, because he is different. His brain chemistry has been permanently altered by everything that he's done and all of the setbacks that he's faced. And he's no longer the same person even that he was years ago. He's a very diminished husk of a human. He's just a battered, beaten down bum. And he's cooked.
If you were to show me this image without his hair, like the zoomed in image of only his face when I just woke up, it would take me about 20 seconds to realize who that was. Because he looks so different, his features.
For this whole comeback stream and life, all of these things. These are the questions you ponder when you don't have anything else to do other than worry about going to prison. But I'm not going to prison. That's the good news for me.
Yeah, it's just jail. It's just jail.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's Rose. It's not prison, it's jail. The thing is, he might actually go to prison if he violates at any time in the next 5 years this probation, meaning he has a beer or he has a puff of weed or a line of cocaine. He will face 21 months in prison.
Please.
21 months in prison.
Imagine.
In fact, people have gotten a lot wrong about my
I love how it's that everybody else gets everything wrong and not him with his deliberate lies.
Yeah,
you know, where he gets called out on his lies constantly and exposed, and he's been a lying liar that lies this entire time. But if somebody else who's been right this entire time gets one or two minor details wrong, then everything they say should be thrown out.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's him trying to fight these like little pedantic, ridiculous side issues that don't matter at all, rather than actually addressing the things that do matter in the case.
Yeah, the cokehead who did the cokehead did nothing wrong. He did everything right. Yeah.
About my sentencing, all of that stuff. So we're going to correct that today. We're going to go ahead and fix the bad reporting that happened.
By the way, the bad reporting, it's such a mild nothing. But he's lying, though. He lies.
But listen, the worst reporter on all of this has been Rekieta.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything the guy has said from start to finish has been disproven. Everything he's ever said has basically been a lie. So we're supposed to trust the guy who's been lying to us the entire time now. Okay.
Yeah. No, thank you, sir.
It's kind of funny to me, the bad reporting, who it came from, the glee.
He's slow.
The bad reporting.
Yes, we are gleeful because we hate you.
I love how, by the way, he's allowed to be gleeful when Amber Heard loses the case.
He wished death upon me a few months ago.
Gleeful when Kyle Rittenhouse wins. Like, he's allowed to be gleeful when people he doesn't like suffer, but nobody is allowed to revel in his suffering at all. Well, that's funny.
Well, he's like already 2 or 3 times wished death upon me. Like, it's like Andy's not doing drugs. I hope he dies. How does that make sense? Like, I guess I'm very gleeful at your downfall. It rules.
It's delivered, etc., etc. I don't know. It kind of just was illustrative of.
By the way, did you notice that his because it was happening live. He'll have like a stutter in the frames.
Yep.
He's so poor he had to lower his internet provider to the lower package.
He's poor.
You see?
Kind of just was illustrative
He
of
doesn't have the fiber internet anymore.
people, and
It's cable.
they're
Bro, he can't even speak anymore. Yeah. Look at how slow he is.
Authenticity, I guess.
Remember, everyone thought it was like recorded.
That's not even a word.
I know. By the way, this is such a fucking boring clip, but I just wanted to show it, just to show you guys, like, this
great.
is how he returned.
Yeah.
This is the triumphant return of Lord Baldo to the scene.
He's late tonight, by the way.
I'm not surprised.
He's late on his own show tonight.
Even though most of you are catastrophic assholes, that's what I've liked about you the whole time. So that being said, we're going to get back to basics. We're not going to sit and dwell on the life of Nick Rekieta. And
well, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. The guy did about 3 hours straight of coping about his court case, about Sean, about Kurt, about Alyssa. He went off, you know, so that's exactly what he did do.
Talk about like how my day is all the time. I was doing that a lot because I was lazy and tired.
You don't say.
He
was strung out on drugs.
And so I just wasn't able to do the work, or wasn't willing to do the work, or I found something else to do after a while. And people have attributed that to all sorts of stuff.
Drugs?
The reality is I was really, really burnt out and broken by a whole bunch of different things.
You were burnt out and broken. By what, bro? By being a multi-millionaire with a trust fund, not having a financial worry in the world.
A podcaster.
Having a wife, having 6 children, you're an e-celeb. All you have to do is talk into a microphone at night and make like 6-7 figures a year. But oh, woe is you, bro. You had it so hard. He actually had to drive his kids around to various hobbies, guys. Nobody else has to drive their kids around to hockey or recital for band. That was a burden that was Rekieta's alone to bear.
It's
by the way, buddy,
life.
It's the consequences of your own actions. If you can't feed them, don't breed them. If you can't raise them, don't have them, boss. You chose to have all of these kids. So you got to take care of them. And you can't suddenly go, well, because I have to take care of these kids, I need to do cocaine to manage the stress. That's fucking delusional, bro.
And that's not an excuse for all the decisions that I made. But let me just go ahead and be honest, because I'm not going to bullshit you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I made a lot of decisions that are really fucking.
Liars say. No, I swear to God, I'm telling the truth. I'm not bullshitting. This time, it's like, bro, you're lying.
No
and you're lying. That's why you're prefacing it with that statement. I'm not going to bullshit. Okay, here we go.
Fun. And I had a great time doing a lot of it. It just really sucks that what it ultimately led to was devastating for my family and me.
Like, you had fun doing it? You have fun having orgies while your fucking kids are knocking for food?
Nobody wants to hear that you had a good time doing drugs, bro.
Buddy,
this is so crazy. How does he think that this is effective PR, or that he comes across sympathetic? I had so much fun doing these drugs and cheating on my wife and, doing weird swapping with another man.
Starving my kids.
But then, it was a real bummer, dude, when my kids were starving and they were taken away and my 9-year-old tested positive from coke, bro. That was a real bummer, man. And now the state's going to harsh my buzz. They're not going to let me drink like I want for 5 years. Dude. Major vibe killer, brah. You're a 40-something-year-old lawyer. What the f*** are you doing?
And that's on me. That's my fault. That's I don't. I get real hesitant with, much to the chagrin of some people, with labels like addiction or whatever. Because
why do you get hesitant with addiction? Just admit that you were an addict.
This is why anything he says is bullshit.
He can't even do the first step of the 12 steps, which is admitting that you have a problem. We're still here on step 1. We've made no progress in the last year.
He literally will never admit it. He'll never admit it.
Things are excuses that people have for what they did. And I don't have.
Yet he'll still call me Kokeski.
Yeah.
I don't have excuses. I have explanations and reasons why I made decisions.
Oh my
but
God.
Not,
so you have excuses.
they don't excuse what I was doing. And with that, like my choices are my fault. And, I get to spend some time making up to the people that I actually did hurt and impact with that. There are other people who have tried to involve themselves in that situation, and they can get because they know nothing about it.
They were totally in the wrong,
Yeah.
All of the people who tried to give you good advice, who tried to help you and stop you from ruining your life, they can go themselves.
Yeah.
Anybody who tried to prevent your family from suffering these disastrous consequences, they're the real monster and not you, whose decisions directly led to those consequences.
Whoa.
It's the people who pointed out that it was bad what you were doing. They're the real monsters.
Just a minute earlier, didn't he not just say, I like to party and it affected people in my life? He just said that. But now, if anyone else says that, them.
Exactly.
You. Proving everyone right.
Can affect them in any way.
It doesn't matter if something affects you. We could still point and go, what are you doing?
And they just have no claim to what was going on in my life. So that being said, though,
but you just told us it was bad and you affected people.
But I mean, buddy, we have like the court documents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You guys have no idea what's going on. Well, we have actual court documents
and Aaron's stories.
And by the way, we don't know what's going on. Well, maybe you should release the body cam footage then.
Yeah.
So we get a clearer picture of what the drug den was actually like.
Yeah.
At this point, it's been built up to be such a disgusting drug den of depravity that surely it couldn't possibly match up to that, right? Surely it'll be underwhelming compared to what we've built it up to, right? So why don't you just release it and prove everybody wrong?
And here's what will happen. He's lying right now because we don't have the footage, right? And then when we see the footage, he'll be like, what, your house was never messy before?
Exactly.
It's going to be like the new goalpost.
Who hasn't went on a 6-month-long drug bender with fucking swinging polycules of cuckery in front of their 5 kids?
Mm-hmm.
Who hasn't brought their mistress to church while you're shaking frantically from fucking withdrawals and then running to the bathroom to powder your nose? Like, who hasn't had that happen, really?
Yeah.
My stuff is my stuff, and I've owned it to the court. I've owned it to the public. I have no intention of hiding from it.
No, but you haven't owned it. Like, we're just like pulling teeth, buddy. And the thing is, you haven't owned it because you still come up with crazy conspiracy theories, as we're going to hear in a little bit about, oh, you didn't have access to the safe. It must have been somebody else's safe. Was it the nanny? The cop's glove covered in cocaine was in my daughter's hair. Wasn't that she ingested cocaine, even though that doesn't make any fucking sense? And no, there's no studies that will back it up. But Rekieta did his own research, and he has these miracle studies, guys, that it's totally this way. And, they had no choice but to treat him like they did, because otherwise it would undermine the entire legal system in Candiyohi County, and every prisoner would have to go free. So they just absolutely put the boots to this guy in a conspiracy. Right. That's taking accountability, Rekieta.
A breaking news. That was a few hours ago. Jeffree Star, that gay, cross-dresser.
I am aware, yes.
Says that he had sex with Kanye West as well. He's like, fuck it,
I'm sure.
Or running from it. I did a bunch of drugs. I had drugs at a really bad time when my house got raided. And that was because of bad.
When you have 5 kids, it's always a bad time.
He just happened to have drugs at a bad time. It
Bullshit.
wasn't as though he didn't have these
Aaron
drugs
told
there
us
every
the
day.
truth,
We know that you had these drugs in the house every single day. And it's because you had these drugs in your home that they were accessible to your 9-year-old daughter. And that's why she tested positive for cocaine, bro.
Well, he's going to tell us. Well, he had 19 grams of coke, ping pong, a rock of coke, which by the way,
Oh yeah.
he's gonna minimize it and go, it's just a ping pong ball. You know, you could take
Of rock.
a card, right? And you could shave off that rock and it makes just like unlimited lines. You could just like shave it the whole time, right? So he'll minimize it, but you don't just not do drugs and then the weekend you're caught, you buy 19 grams.
Who the has 26 grams?
26 grams.
Because that's the number that was originally reported. He now says the packaging weighed 7 grams,
Bull.
which that's not what I read in the original report. I read that the packaging weighed what, like a gram?
Yeah.
So then it fell below the threshold for trafficking. But
yeah,
had decisions that I made to use a bunch of substances while being on a live stream. At least 3.
Get ready.
The cop was
that
waiting.
he was only f***ed up on 3 streams, guys. Like, come on, man. Who do you think you're fooling? And he's playing these weird games. So now it's like, okay, I admit I was on the drugs during the stream, but you don't know which streams. So you'll never really know. And I have the power.
no,
like,
we know it's every
He's
stream.
playing games. It's like a kid who, like, you know, puts hands over their face and then believes that they've gone invisible. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
you can't see me.
We called
Like,
it out. I
come
called out the
on.
coke before you even thought it was coke. Remember?
Oh my God.
I
I,
was
didn't
like-
even believe it.
I was like,
I just thought he was drunk out of his mind and alcoholic.
Yeah. Stop it.
Wrong, though, on which ones. I mean, other than the cocaine.
It was all of them. Shut the fuck up, okay?
He really did not. He had no grasp of what was going on that. He's a drug recognition expert. He knew nothing about any of it.
Bro, you got convicted. You pled guilty to having the drugs.
5 years probation.
Pretty sure the drug expert there, anybody could see. A fucking blind man could see you were fucking on drugs. Stop it. Come on.
Experts are bullshit. You have to learn that right away. That's just the reality of the trade.
The cope.
They're absolutely
all drug identification experts are bullshit. That's really what we're supposed to believe, and not just that you were.
Is that what he just
yeah,
said?
and not just that you were a drunk fucking cokehead.
Oh,
really?
Fuck off.
Absolute bullshit. A complete catastrophe, and the system is engineered to f people over. Did it f me over? No. It did not. I actually got quite good results for what I was facing.
Rekieta.
And, I'm really.
You got the maximum possible penalty that was recommended. You know, like you got the worst possible penalty you could given the deal. Do you understand? You got the maximum probation, 5 years. You got the maximum amount of jail time, 28 days, and you got 80 hours of community service on top of that, bro. You got objectively a terrible outcome. And it was, I believe, entirely dependent on the fact that you showed no repentance. You showed absolutely no desire to change. In all of your streams, you alleged a conspiracy and all sorts of crazy crackpot stuff, bro. And that's why the judge and everybody in the county is sick of your shit and threw the book at you. That's why, bro.
By the way, this whole there's no such thing as a drug recognition expert. Yes, there is.
Obviously, there is.
You could tell even like people who've done drugs can look at other people and go, they're on E or the coke, or you could tell. Like, oh no, there's no way to ever tell that someone's on a drug. Are you fucking? Is this guy think that reality's not real?
Yes.
Happy.
Well, he believes that he can gaslight everybody.
Yeah.
And the guy is still, by the way, I don't know if Josh commented on this or not. But the guy is still going into Josh's DMs and trying to gaslight him as though he did nothing wrong and telling Josh how to moderate Kiwi Farms.
Oh,
you know what I'm
fuck
saying?
off.
Like the guy really believes that if he just says the right series of magical words, then everybody will bow down to him and apologize and kiss his ring and sweep for him. And that's just not how the world works. Like, none of us are as dumb as Kayla or April, buddy.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do a bit better. And you're just not up to the task because your brain is fucking cooked from the drugs.
With the fact that I am not in prison and not going to prison or jail at all. Much to the chagrin and bad reporting of others. That's not happening.
Right now, I mean, but Rekieta, like right now, you are set on August 1st to go for 28 days. Now, it's possible that through good behavior, compliance to the PO, and worshiping the PO, that it might get deferred. But that 28 days jail, right now, you're set to go in, brother.
Buddy.
And I really think that if you keep acting this way publicly, they may just say, F you're doing the 28 days to dry out, bro. And once he does that 28 days of just complete like dopamine deprivation of being in that jail cell, he's going to get so depressed and so fucked up. The moment he comes out, he's going to relapse, and then he's going to end up doing fucking 21 months in prison. The moment he fails that probation. And I just think the mindset that he has right now, there's no doubt that he's going to relapse. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And this guy, he's never going to be the same after 21 months in prison. He's just not.
I'm praying it happens.
You know, it's all on me. But to be clear, the show will be about stuff I've really been wanting to talk about. Trump has been an absolute gem.
So this is his new plan. So what his plan is, and a lot of people do this, like Darkside Phil does this, Ralph has done this, lots of people have done this. The plan is to make the show as boring as humanly possible so that A-logs will no longer clip it or shit on him. And so his plan for this is to talk about Trump for hours, giving the most boring milquetoast takes that his audience of dents will eat up. And meanwhile, everybody will be too bored to catch him seething or fucking up. But the problem is, Rekieta, you've pissed off a group of people who are so autistic and so stubborn that no matter how boring you make it, they will sojourn through to A-log.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
Oh, yeah.
They fucking hate you, Rekieta. You fucked up big time, bud. You're going to get clipped. There's no escape from the A-logging, bro.
Yep.
So funny that I just can't believe it. He renamed the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Like I cannot believe
so weird.
It. That's like walking into a Kentucky Fried Chicken and be like, no.
Get ready. This is the new Denny's joke.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
There we go. The comedic stylings of stand-up comedian Rekieta.
Laugh track. Let's get it ready. Okay, whoa. Okay, here we go.
That's like walking into a Kentucky Fried Chicken and be like, no, not at all. Not today. This is Tennessee Fried Chicken now. It's a little north. It's not quite spicy enough to be south. It's got to go. Wait, that's the other way.
And he f***ed up the fucking joke, too.
The cringe, bro. Oh, my God, Rekieta. Whoa, buddy.
That was the joke? Did you see what I messaged you, by the way?
Painful, yes. Yeah, all right.
But
so let's finish this up quick.
They share a border. It's just as long as the other border that's shared by it. They're both Kentucky and Kentucky other now. But he renamed the Gulf of Mexico as a trade flag.
Did you not miss his jokes, Ash?
Oh my God. It's gonna be tough to A-log this guy. It's such a slog, buddy.
Remember there was like a point like where we were just like, we can't do it anymore. We can't do it.
Which is great. He's got tariffs coming, which are like they're gonna suck on prices for a bit, maybe. If they actually get fully implemented and have time to really affect the price chain. But the ultimate results of them are going to be, it's leverage. It's leverage against countries that have treated the U.S. like it's not the most important.
You see this? All right, it's time to move on.
Hello, 2 months ago, old take.
You know, it's like we've already heard everybody discuss this and talk. It's to the point where I don't believe he can sincerely believe anyone cares. And his goal is just to spite the audience and spite the A-logs by making it as boring as possible.
Yeah.
So the next clip is going to be Rekieta explaining his sentence. Oh
I just saw the
we have a long way. We have a long way to go.
I just saw the time. Oh, guys.
It's going to take a long way to get there. This stream's going to be long as fuck.
What was going on Friday? which is my sentencing day. That's yesterday. Holy shit! It feels like a week ago already.
Okay, wait.
So
what?
the guy's mind is completely destroyed by drug use. He's experiencing time dilation, wherein one day has felt like 10. And later on in this clip, or not in this clip, rather, but in the local stream, he's going to admit to having hallucinations of a plea deal that avoided jail time. So,
all right.
He's not well mentally.
People are saying 2 times speed might be too much, right?
No, we're just going to keep doing it.
Yes. 0.5 speed?
So here's what happened. Back in January, I had agreed to plead
All right,
guilty
give him 1.5.
1.5?
1.5.
Let's see.
Third
See
degree
how it
possession
sound.
of a controlled substance. Now, in Minnesota, what that means is that
1.25?
Yeah, all right.
for my purposes, it is possession of more than 10 grams, less than 25 grams of a mixture containing various controlled substances. In this case, in particular, cocaine. Now, what I actually possessed in there was cocaine, molly, and ketamine.
Actually, it was multiple drugs. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
no one gives. He just keeps going into these weird, technical, pedantic bullshit that nobody cares. Just be honest, bro. You got caught with cocaine and cat. You know, like, whoa.
Actually,
the police treated it as a single mixture.
Yeah. His brain is 0.25% off. Yeah, you're right, guys. Perfect.
It wasn't mixed up. It's kind of a misnomer, but they combined all of the powdered substances effectively and came up with a gross weight. Now, when they initially weighed it, the weight was 26 point something grams. However, that included, because they weighed it in the field.
We're doing the packaging cope, guys.
Yeah.
This is where every single aspect of this we're going to cope about and contest in the most disingenuous, bad faith way possible. Now, he somehow thinks that this strengthens his case, when in fact, he really should just be conceding on all of this shit and then trying to argue his daughter testing positive for cocaine. You know, because when he starts making all of his ridiculous, pedantic arguments on everything else, you go, okay, well, we know you're lying on all of these multitude of issues, even after you've already been sentenced, but we're supposed to believe you on that your daughter didn't test positive? It's not going to happen.
No.
For the purposes of...
You and I were texting each other during this point, remember? And I'm like, are you hearing this shit? What the fuck?
Making a charge.
Here's the baggy cope, okay? Are you ready for the baggy cope?
They don't take it out of the package, because if they take it out of the package, they've compromised the evidence, and then it's not very useful, right? So they weigh it in the field, and they include the packaging. So these are in little gym bags about this big. Some people would, I guess, call them dime bags. Maybe is that the word? I never did much marijuana, so.
Oh my God! Shut the fuck up. I'm not much of a druggie.
Maybe you should have, bro, because it's actually legal where you live.
And it's safer.
You know.
Who knows? But these little gem bags is what they're called, if like a hobby store. And each one of those weighs like 1 to 2 grams.
Is that true?
That the baggie weighs a gram?
Doesn't sound right. That does not sound right.
No, it doesn't. The bag, it does not weigh a gram.
Okay.
Bro. Like, it does not.
What are those baggies called?
So
like
if you have
glad Ziploc fucking bag, like I don't fucking
Ziploc bag. Wait.
And he goes, listen, Stone Silo has the answer. A bag weighs 0.1 and a freezer bag weighs 0.8.
Okay.
So already it's bullshit what he's saying. It doesn't even matter though anyway.
Yeah.
Of
it was less.
And there were 3 of those baggies, because you have a baggie of cocaine, baggie of molly, and a baggie of ketamine. And then there was what's called a cutoff bag, which is where they take like a Ziploc and they slice off the zipper part of it. And that had the bulk of the cocaine that I had. Now, people talk about how much it was. It's really it's not that much. 19 grams is about
that
19
much.
grams.
Bro.
19 grams is a lot of coke, folks. Holy shit.
The size of a ping pong ball, something like that.
It was 26 grams.
It was 26.
And I think it was 25 after they removed packaging. Because it was right on the cutoff. I think 26 grams was the exact cutoff for the trafficking charge, from what I understand.
That's like a fucking shit ton of coke.
It's a lot and not a lot at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he had about $3,000 worth of cocaine.
It's a lot and not a lot?
It's it's Schrodinger's coke. It is simultaneously both a lot and not a lot. I mean, compared to fucking Scarface having kilos, I guess it's not a lot.
Yeah.
Everything is relative. Everything's a cope when you're Baldo. Everything is relative. There is no truth. Like, who's going to believe this bullshit?
$3,000 worth of coke. You have coke for a long time. It's not a lot for
Pablo Escobar, I suppose.
Yeah.
Guys, the reason's pretty simple. It's like going to Costco. Like, it's a pain in the
Okay.
It's like going to Costco. You got to buy in bulk, bro.
It's the new Denny's joke.
This is ridiculous.
ass to get drugs. So you just buy in bulk. It's just
here's the problem with coke when you buy in bulk. There's no stop. You don't just stop it and leave it in. Like, I'm going to save it later. You do the coke that you buy.
You were routinely doing this amount.
Yeah. Like,
if not more. I wouldn't be surprised if he was picking up fucking double or 4 times this amount at a time.
Yeah.
And this is like, he just was down to this amount.
Bro, this is like...
He's actually lucky he got busted when he did.
Yeah. Ken, no one saves coke. Okay?
But as Conrad is saying, this is fucking pointless. The amount doesn't change our mind in the court of public opinion.
Exactly.
Like, the amount being like a few grams off doesn't mean anything.
It's funny that the way drug charges work out is because they do it by weight. This is, I'm not sure of the better practical way to do this. But drug possession charges are illogical from a liberty perspective.
No, they're not.
Is he insane?
So what he's about to say is so stupid. Just listen to this. Listen to this, guys.
All right.
Because it is, if I took an entire ounce of cocaine and did all of it and the cops show up, there's no cocaine. There's no charge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can be high as a motherfucker in most states. Not every state. In most states, you can be high as a motherfucker as long as you're not driving or engaging in some sort of disorderly conduct. You can you live through an ounce of cocaine, I guess, if you.
So how
try.
is that? How is that anti-liberty that they're not punishing the users, but they're punishing the traffickers?
Yeah.
Do you see how it's more logical? Like, if somebody just has a massive amount laying around, chances are they're dealing those drugs, they're supplying it into the community, and so therefore they should be punished more so than just the average user who's just a helpless addict. It actually seems like that is like a pro-liberty position.
Wait, is he claiming that he was going to smash that 26 grams that night?
Yeah, that's basically what he's saying, right?
Insane. You'd have a heart attack, bro. There's no way you could do that.
Oh,
I'm sure someone's tried.
That they can't charge you with a crime at all. If you don't do the cocaine, if you don't do it, and you put it on a shelf,
suicide,
and you have over 25 grams, you get a second-degree possession charge. And,
yes.
But what personal users just got 26 grams like lying around? Because you weren't just supplying it to yourself, you were supplying it to like 3 other people that we know of, plus who else,
daughter.
Punishment of up to 25 years in prison.
Yes.
The disparity logically between those two outcomes should render drug laws completely moot until they come up with a better structure.
No.
No, I love how the problem is with the system, which, by the way, it's just like, okay, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all fucking have a happy Easter or whatever, buddy. But it's not like what fantasy laws you want to have on the books. It's what laws are actually on the books and how they're enforced in reality. You can try, I think that you should be able to go to the supermarket and buy heroin. Okay, but thank God you're not in charge,
Thank
right?
you. Thank God. Yeah.
For it. The fact that it is illegal to have it sitting on a shelf, like you could buy that cocaine, it could sit on a shelf forever, and you can never intend to use it. That's illegal.
Because you have it on your shelf and you're going to use it. Oh, sir, officer, this was some decoration for my room. Like, shut the up.
It's like, imagine defending the use and legality of a substance that destroyed your family.
And destroys many people. Destroys
Yes.
many people. It's not like, oh, this is a very rare instance. You know, like one guy who smoked weed and jumped out of his window to try to fly. Like, okay, no, it's not that. Coke is proven to ruin people's lives. Me knowing what it's like being on that substance, I'm so glad it's illegal.
But imagine, like, just
So
like
glad it's illegal.
having it in your house where your kids could get into it is
Yeah.
bad.
Or you have
Which your
a
daughter did
neighbor.
get into it. She tested positive for cocaine.
Yeah, or you have
Like-
neighbors who are buying it and doing it and acting erratic around you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want that around your neighborhood.
Having it and using it immediately is illegal because you have it, but once it's gone, they can't prove that you have it.
Yes.
And they can't prove without some extra evidence that you ever had it in your possession. What they
Okay.
could do is find out that you're under the influence of cocaine, but possession and use are different. And that's weird.
Okay, so you could drunk
it's-
drive and not get
Oh
caught.
my God.
Right? It's like,
No,
well,
I
I
mean,
wasn't caught drinking and driving.
This is
so-
weird, guys.
Isn't it weird how like it's legal to drink and drive if you're not caught, but if they catch you, it's illegal? Like that, the logic doesn't add up.
Conceptually, the person not doing it is more guilty than the person who's doing it. So just from that alone, drug laws need a
Oh,
huge...
so you're
No,
more
it's-
innocent for
the
not using it
idea-
at that
the-
moment.
The idea is to punish traffickers, Rekieta. That's why those laws are in the book, because the typical petty user, they never have 25 fucking grams, bro, because they sniffed it up in a fucking minute. You know? Like this is why, like, I don't know, bro, it's arbitrary. Yeah, all laws are to a certain extent, Rekieta. All laws are, but we have to accept, you know, that there's going to be some restrictions on things in life. Otherwise, we're going to live in a fucking hellscape of a society. We're going to live in anarchy and total fucking chaos. Isn't that sweet, bro? I'm going to be in Mad Max, dude. This is like the mindset of a teenage boy. It's, I want to smoke weed, dad, so I voted for Ron Paul, even though I can't vote. This is the worst type of libertarian.
Mhm.
The libertarian that's only a libertarian so that they can enjoy their vice of choice.
And
They don't
ruin it.
actually have a commitment to liberty, only in as so far as much as it allows them to do whatever destructive vice they want.
revamp. But anyway, it's about a ping pong ball size. And so that's in a cutoff bag. Cutoff bags weigh a little bit less than a gem bag because they don't have Ziploc on them. So anyway, what we had was effectively, we being me, but
Oh, wait, he's trying to make it like, oh, it was like in a small bag in a ping pong. But here's the thing with Coke, if you don't know what it like how it works. When it's a rock and you break off a little piece, that's what you use the card to break up. And that little piece that you broke off, like a tiny little piece, turns into like literally like a fucking plate full of Coke that you make into lines.
Yeah, what he's relying on here is people's ignorance of Coke.
Yeah, luckily.
So that he can try and be like, oh, it's not a big deal. It was a very small amount. No, it was a very large amount of cocaine.
Yeah, so so it's like, okay, sure, it's ping pong, sounds small. Oh, ping pong. But when it's broken up, if you were to take that whole ping pong ball and break it up, it would be like you could spread it that it's like hundreds of lines.
Yes.
There you go.
what we had effectively is 5 to 7 ounces, or not ounces, grams of
Whoa!
baggage. And
There
once
was
they got
the slip. So he started off, the stash was 5 to 7 ounces. And then all that was left was this one paltry ounce.
Wait, is that what he said?
or not ounces. What we had effectively is 5 to 7 ounces, or not ounces, grams of bag
Is that
weight.
how much he
Oh.
would pick up at a time?
But wait, but that doesn't make
And once they got into or not ounces, grams of bag weight. And once they got into the
Oh.
lab and they weighed it again, the official weight that came back was under 20 grams. It was 19 point something. And so they had to drop the charges down from second-degree possession to third-degree possession. So that's what I pled to, third-degree possession. The child charges were unsustainable.
So wait a minute.
And
so if they had to drop it down because they only had so much weight, did you really get a good deal and negotiate it down? Or did you just plead guilty to directly what they had to? By the way, Rekieta, like these charges, they probably could have made them stick, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're very like this was unsustainable. This is unsustainable. Well, it's a shame we didn't find out, bud.
Yeah.
Maybe if you had taken it all the way to court and actually fought for your rights, considering this is apparently a conspiracy and a kangaroo, maybe you would have came out on the other side totally innocent and vindicated. But I guess we'll never know because you pled guilty because you're guilty.
And he did a deal, obviously.
The gun charges.
And not a very good deal.
No.
Maybe. I mean, like they couldn't ever actually, they didn't have a way to prove that the guns were present.
No, they did.
Cocaine. Like,
the guns, Rekieta, the guns were in the room. Now, is it a bullshit stacked on charge? Yes. But you know what? They could prove that the guns were present around the cocaine, Rekieta, because they were in the same room with the coke that was on the bedside table with fucking April's credit card on it and the snort tube and all this shit in the safe as well, where the coke was. Come on.
He's trying to make us all think like how a court will think or like a lawyer, right? And like with, plea deals and da-da-da-da. It's like, you can't prove the gun was there, but we know the gun was there.
We know.
We're not a judge or a prosecutor who's making a deal with you. We know you're lying to us. You can't lie to us.
Guns in the house and there was cocaine there. There's a presumption there that they could try and argue, but were the guns ever in use while cocaine was being consumed? Were they like, what does present mean is an argument. So those charges got dropped. The child endangerment charges, the children were never in danger.
Okay, so through a
but
technicality.
They kind of were though, bro. When you were drunk and f***ed up all the time, and then just a few hours later, you would wake up and drive the kids around.
Yeah.
I don't have any proof, and it's just alleged. But common sense would lead you to believe this guy was driving his kids around while he was suited.
Oh, I believe
You know what I'm saying? So he's putting his children at risk. Not to mention the fact, of course, the kids were starving. They were found smelling. Their clothes hadn't been washed in weeks. So there was effects on other people here.
By the way, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it's alleged, but I believe he was 100% fucking driving around.
Well, and the more he talks about all this, the more guilty I think he is.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Gun charges were also dropped.
I know he did that.
So,
that's the thing. Sporkio knows. He goes, literally, he would stop the stream 2 hours before you would have to drive them.
Yep.
And the guy would have had 12 drinks on the stream. And we know right well that like blood, alcohol leaves the blood at the rate of 1 drink per hour. So there's no way he was sober when he was doing this shit.
Yeah.
Now, the result of that is Minnesota has a statute. And if you have a 3rd degree or lower, well, I guess technically higher, but 3rd, 4th, or 5th degree.
Yeah, ready for the cope.
There's a statute, if you're a first-time offender, that says you may receive what's called a stay of adjudication. Now, this is a critically important part.
Get ready.
Of how this works.
His guilt isn't even real, guys. This is where we're getting into, guys. Listen, it's crazy.
Critically important part of how this works. You are not adjudicated guilty if you take this agreement.
Shut the f up.
The cope is insane. The cope is bro. I was never actually even guilty, even though I pled guilty, because if I go through a 5-year process, then they'll wipe the charges from my record.
But you're a junkie.
But you still entered a plea of guilty, and you're still going through a 5-year probation process, sir.
Yeah. And
listen, he'll actually say it's not real, though. Just hit play.
So I pled guilty. The judge records the guilty plea, but does not accept it to the court. Okay? So my guilty plea exists, but it's not actually real.
You see, the guilty plea exists,
okay,
but it's not actually real. It exists, But it does. Schrodinger is guilty. It exists, but it doesn't exist, guys. Ooh,
I believe there's a guilty plea out there.
It exists only on paper. What are we doing here, guys? Guys, the guilty plea is not even real.
The Black Mirror episode?
Now, sure, I have to report to the probation officer and do random piss tests and let him search my house every fucking day if he wants for the next 5 years. And sure, I might go to jail for 28 days. And, sure, I might have to do 80 hours of community service. But at the end of 5 years, the guilty verdict didn't even happen, bro. Which, by the way, you're not making it the 5 years. It may as well be 21 months in fucking prison, straight up, but they're giving you a chance, which you're pissing away.
Instead, you go through a probationary diversion, effectively. And
I don't trust anything you say about law. You don't know law. You're always wrong about things. Everyone loses who talks to you. Everything you say is very questionable.
But this denial is wild to try and argue that the guilty plea is imaginary.
Stop.
Okay.
No, I don't even have to.
And there are terms of probation that are imposed upon you that can look really similar to a sentence, but they're not.
But it's a probationary diversion, bro. It's contingent on you completing the probation. Now, look, guys, it may look as though I'm guilty and there are conditions put upon me by the court that I wouldn't otherwise want to do, such as picking up trash on the side of the road or maintaining sobriety. But I assure you that those conditions are merely a figure of your imagination and that I actually didn't plead guilty, guys.
He's such a fucking retard.
Those terms of probation are something you comply with. And if you comply with them to the letter or whatever, your charges will be dismissed.
He's like acting like his guilty plea is an escrow.
Yeah. Well, it is for 5 years. It's hanging over your head for the next 5 years, sir. I mean,
as in you will never be adjudicated guilty, or I will not be adjudicated guilty. So this is important for things like voting rights and gun rights. I am not a felon. I can go vote.
Okay.
If I were convicted and then later had my conviction expunged, practically those can have a similar effect.
But here's the thing about the guns, Rekieta. You can't technically own the guns right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't own the guns for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, like, in all practical effect, it is like you were fucking found guilty.
Yeah.
But during the conviction, you cannot vote, right? Like, so that would be a different thing. I'm not able to own guns as a condition of probation. But
because you're guilty.
Yeah, I mean, you pled guilty and you have probation, which means you can't own guns for the next 5 years, sir.
And if you weren't guilty,
it's like, but guys, it's there's a difference though. It's like, yeah, there is, but the way you're trying to portray this is very disingenuous.
Well, and if you weren't guilty, say it with me, class, you could own the guns. Like,
yes.
Will not be a convicted felon. I don't actually lose my gun rights.
You should,
because there isn't a conviction.
Except for the next 5 years, you do.
Yeah,
but,
how old
after that, you might be able to have guns again. But
the felony that would trigger the loss of the gun rights. So that is what happened for me. So I have this stay of adjudication. Now, Minnesota, the probationary, the stay of adjudication period can be up to the maximum sentence, which in theory would be 20 years. But they recently changed it for a bunch of crimes, including this one, where it's up to the maximum sentence. Or
how could a one man be so boring talking about his own criminal?
I know. Conviction. I know.
5 years, whichever is shorter. And so in this case, I received 5 years of probation, which is the maximum amount that can be given out.
What a great deal, by the way. You were the best lawyer ever negotiating that one. A real Saul Goodman. You got the max. But yeah, it was such a good deal. The best deal. Tremendous.
Deal ever.
My charge.
So Imrahai Shigoya in chat goes, did he pay for these awful paintings? Allegedly, he paid, I think, what was it, $30,000 for the one of Johnny Depp?
Yeah. And the Joker one was like 25 or something. What's the cat? What's the cat photo? Like, what is it expensive too?
I don't know, bro. I'm sure he wasted 10 grand on it. I'm sure.
But you could buy those for like $30 at HomeSense.
Oh, yeah.
Just a couple years ago, it could have been up to 20 years of probation, which is insane.
The Depp one was $60K. Oh, same artist.
I think 5 years of probation is insane. Look, people can decide what they want about why I say that, but the reality is this. Until you've had a government tell you that you just can't do something for a period of time.
Stop.
And there's nothing you can do about that. And if you do it, like, and it's a thing that.
But wait a minute. I thought there was no problem. This is the thing, though, Rekieta. You had a choice, by the way. You could have chose to go to prison or go to jail instead of probation. And you could have sold your ass in jail and prison to get the drugs that you so crave. There were options within the system. You know,
you could have not bought 26 grams of coke and K and E.
The plea, sir. You pled guilty. You admit that you did it. You accept the consequences of your negotiated plea deal. There were other options. You could have fought it to trial if you believed you were innocent, which you knew you couldn't win the case, or you could have went through with it and got the guilty verdict that the court bestowed, which would probably have jail and prison time. So you chose this over going to a cell. You had a choice. You chose this.
Ignore the drug, like no drugs allowed, because obviously drugs are illegal.
Well, hear this.
As a matter of course. But to say that I cannot drink alcohol.
You can't.
You
Sorry,
can't, buddy, because
you broke the law.
You know, you fucked up, man. You fucked up. And a lot of your problems stemmed from alcohol use. A lot of these streams and shit, you were shittered out of your fucking mind. And, you know, it's like if you're drinking and driving, which you probably were, that's fucked up. It puts your family at risk. And your children shouldn't have to be in a household where they have a drunken baldo for a father.
Not an addict, though. Not an addict. Oh, it's so easy to quit, but why can't I drink? Okay.
For the next 5 years is like that's.
You can't be trusted. And by the way, when you break any law, you're risking your freedom or whatever the fuck. If there could be people who've never drank and drive ever, the first time they do it, they're caught. And now DUI, can't drive for 3 years. But it's not fair. I did it only once. It doesn't matter. You broke the law and you got caught. Like the end. Sorry, Rekieta. That's what happened.
That's kind of a lot. And it's kind of wild, especially because I don't have any criminal act involving alcohol at all. But that's just how Minnesota does it.
It was part of it. Stop it.
If there's a substance crime, no alcohol and no substances that are not prescribed.
Okay, so you know the law now.
Until you've been through that, like as an abstract concept, you kind of go, okay, well, like I guess once you're facing down like 5 years of we're going to kind of control your life, and you go, what did I do to merit the government controlling my life to this degree?
Buddy, what did you do?
You guys know that
your children were stinking. Your children were starving. They came to the pastor and asked for help. What are you talking about? You went on live stream clearly fucked out of your mind on booze and fucking drugs. You made it so easy for the police to fucking felt you, bro. You made it way too easy. You just publicly broadcast to everybody what you were doing. And then they came to your house with a warrant. They found all the drugs. And they saved your children. They saved your family from your destructive behavior. To be honest, they saved your life, bro. And they're still saving your life by putting the consequence ahead of you. Hey, if you don't change your behavior when it comes to alcohol and drugs, you're going to prison for 21 months. Do you get it yet, you stupid fucking monkey?
Not just, you have to understand, like, it's not that I can't drink alcohol. It's I cannot own alcohol, which means
yes,
effectively, Kayla can't either.
Good.
Like she kind of can. There are ways to do it.
She was a filthy
and
she was a filthy, drug-addicted fucking pillhead laying in a fucking bed all day instead of taking care of her kids. So she probably shouldn't be allowed to drink either. And she's lucky that she didn't get a fucking conviction herself.
In possession of it, possibly, like arguably so. So it makes it really complicated in that way. And it's weird to think about. You go out to dinner and the fact that the chef might finish
Get ready for this
pasta with a vodka sauce. And if they don't cook out enough of the vodka and somehow you test positive.
How about this, bro? You've agreed to be on the terms of a probation. So maybe don't get the pasta that has the vodka sauce. It's ultimately your responsibility. But let's face the facts. This is a total cope. The amount of alcohol that would be in a vodka sauce is not enough for you to go to fucking prison, buddy.
Yeah.
And if it is, well, that's on you, bud. Shouldn't have committed the crime. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. And don't agree to the plea deal if you can't hold up your end of the arrangement.
Like, this is really unlikely. Don't get me wrong, but it is possible for this to happen. If that happens,
let's live in real life.
Prison. It's a crazy amount of control that the government then asserts over someone for owning something.
Well, because
again,
they had you dead to rights. You had to plead guilty because they had you dead to fucking rights. And so they're going to impose certain conditions on you, which you agreed to. So stop being the victim. This is where all the consequences of your own actions. You made choices every step of the way, bro. I love how he wants to be treated as an adult, as somebody that's capable of making decisions and that deserves to have freedom and liberty. But he's basically saying like he's an unthinking animal. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to be held accountable. He wants all of the freedom, but he doesn't want any accountability.
Yeah.
What's
really bothered me? His fucking what's it called? Camera. The frames. Every fucking 30. It's like what Ralph's audio happens with his audio happens to his fucking frame.
It's considered the same level of severity as a second-degree assault. So, like, if I go to a library and punch someone in the face and break their teeth, right? That's a second-degree assault.
Okay.
That is the same severity as owning less than 25 grams of powder.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, Rekieta. Do you think that you buying that cocaine exists in a vacuum? Or do you not realize that a lot of the money that goes from you buying that cocaine goes to organized crime, like goes to cartels that cut people's heads off, goes to human traffickers that sell children into sex slavery and stuff like that? Like, there's effects beyond just buying the cocaine, which not to mention, bro, like you're doing the cocaine when you have kids and you've got the cocaine in the house with your kids and your 9-year-old tested positive for cocaine. So like even most libertarians would be like, bro, your daughter tested positive for coke. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You should be punished.
Yeah. It was humanely sourced cocaine. Yeah.
As a concept, like it's mind-blowing. And
by the way, would you live on a street where every neighbor of yours did coke? And it was just parties and weird shit happening constantly, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean like a party every weekend, every other weekend. I'm talking about like a Rekieta style cokehead.
You're on every
junkie, like a junkie. Look, if you do drugs and you party, I'm not judging you. I don't care. But if you're straight up every day with kids around, being a junkie, you don't want that around your neighborhood.
I mean, this isn't controversial. Pretty much everyone agrees. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
It was an interesting transition of the abstract to the practical, and to actually be under the effect of the law is way different than just looking at it from the outside. And this is something the reason I'm talking about all this.
We're all under the law.
We often encounter the law in the abstract. Lawyers too. And it's funny, like watching people talk about Bolivian nose candy or whatever, who have no concept of how these impacts actually hit because they haven't been through it. Self-admittedly,
the impact.
I was in
the impact is that you have to be sober. Cry me a fucking river, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't understand how this affects people, dude. I can't just get drunk every day, and I actually have to be a good dad. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Stop it.
The same boat, right? Now, like
it's not like you're under house arrest. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
They removed like your internet access or something. You just don't have to drink. You can't drink.
Now I'm in the place of the client.
By the way, if you weren't an addict, this wouldn't be a problem. You'd be like, oh, this is the easiest thing in the fucking world. I'm not an addict, so I don't
down the government's gun barrel. And bringing it home is intense for a defendant, but everyone else involved in the process, everyone else, every clerk, every judge, every lawyer, both sides, look at this from an abstract perspective. And so, timelines and effects are nothing.
I love how the only way that you can possibly understand probation is to be on probation. Okay.
Yeah, no, I could just see what's happening to you and go, damn.
This is all the government's fault in the abstraction of the liberty. Stop.
It's numbers on a page.
I think they're being easy on you, to be honest.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, I think you should be happy you aren't behind bars for 2 years.
Buddy, do you know there are actual people that get falsely convicted of crimes that they never commit, and they spent 5 years, 10 years, 20 years in prison? But it's Baldo that's the real victim for getting the punishment of not having to drink for crimes that he admitted to doing, that he did do. Right.
There are people in jail in certain states still for smoking weed. For smoking weed.
Their life.
But you're the fucking victim.
For example,
give me a break.
Our family case went from effectively the beginning of June to 2/3 of the way through November. It was somewhere around November 20th. It was just before Thanksgiving that our family case ended completely, and we were done. It was one of the best days of my life.
Right.
I can't talk about this too much. I'll get all emotional.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Here we go, guys.
Here we go. He was the victim. He's gonna cry. It's okay.
But just the relief for the kids. Not having the government in their lives was crazy. That 5-month period, according to
whose fault was it, Rekieta, that the government was in their lives again? It was your fault, Rekieta, that the government was in their lives.
I wonder who. We'll never get answers. We'll never get answers.
One of the prosecutors in the case is the fastest our county has returned children. When
wait. So you're telling me you had it the best ever?
Yeah, but it was all a conspiracy against you, and it was unfair. But they actually treated you better than anyone in the state. And by the way, how does he know that? How does he know that? He doesn't know that.
That was 5.
It's like when a car salesman's like, I'm giving you the best deal I've ever given anyone.
I believe
months.
Yeah, yes.
And it was a living hell for our family. And it's the fastest.
Oh, man.
The fact that these people can every day go to work and remove children, separate families for periods of time, like 6 to 18 months.
When they break the law.
I love how he's shaming Child Protective Services for doing their job.
For protecting
how can these people protect children from delinquent monster degenerates like me who leave them without food or clothing? Okay.
Oh.
Is insane when you think about it. And for them, it's just numbers. It's just numbers. And it's crazy because that's the law.
Yes, you are a number. You're a criminal number 1,
You're
2,
not
8, 1.
anybody different than anybody else. You get treated the same in the system. The reality is he was obviously treated better in the system than most people.
Yes.
Because of the money that he has. So stop.
And if you go and sit in some sentencing hearings and you listen to judges, you can think what you want about the law and law enforcement is fine. Like everyone should do this at some point. Listen to a judge without batting an eye delete years of someone's life by incarceration or
whoa, oh no, imagine this. Well, maybe they shouldn't have robbed. Maybe they shouldn't have murdered. Maybe they shouldn't have raped. Maybe they shouldn't have assaulted other people. Maybe they should have considered the consequences of their behavior. What, are we just not going to have a legal system now, Rekieta? We're not going to have jails and prisons because you went through a bad experience because you chose to do cocaine? Like, what are we talking about?
I'll do you one better. I was watching Explore With Us, Iwu, the other day, right? And there's a woman, two YouTubers, like it was like a new video or it was like a few months old. Two women who were YouTubers who had their kids taped up in the closet with like duct tape, and they were putting cayenne pepper under the duct tape on their wounds, and they only got 4 years in jail. And they weren't feeding
this
their,
is,
like,
by the way,
I
this
wish it
is
was
the
more in
equivalent.
jail.
This is the equivalent of a toddler going, "Do you know how many parents send kids to timeout and take away hours of watching Barney?"
Buddy.
Yes, those are the consequences for bad actions. Like, the guy hasn't learned how it works. You know, if you're an adult and you break the rules of society, then you go to grown-up timeout where you have to sit in the corner until you learn your lesson, buddy. Except you didn't even go there. You got a more lenient version, which just means it's basically the equivalent of, well, you fucked up, son, by breaking the window with your baseball, so you can't have candy for a couple weeks. You know?
Yeah.
No more candy, okay? No more drugs, but I'm such a victim.
Yeah, but the idea is like, can you see a judge shave off someone's years of their life? I sometimes think it's a bit too lenient. But he kills 3 people, 10 years in jail. Those people combined at least 100 years left of their life. But he gets 10. Oh, how dare they?
Or any sort of government restriction or imposition. Because all of it comes with a government gun barrel pointing at that person for the entire time.
Because they broke the law. I'm glad there's laws.
My God.
Live on an island then, Nick. Live on an island.
And it's wild. Like, I can't even explain the difference from being on
Do you know
the
what
abstract
this
end of
is,
it
by
to
the way?
practical end of it.
You know why he can't understand it? Because at no point in his life did he ever actually have to face a consequence. At no point in his life did he ever actually have an authority that told him no, and it was a firm no that he couldn't get away from. That's the problem. His parents never actually allowed him to face consequences or accountability. They bailed him out of everything. They paid his way through life. And so he never learned the hard way, like most people do, how to have a proper, mature relationship with authority. And because of this, he has this oppositional defiance disorder mentality where he just can't accept the probation. He can't accept that there's finally a force, the government, that's going to hold him accountable, and there's no escape from it. There's no parents that can bail him out of this, and he just has to live with the consequence. And so his mind is malfunctioning and he's coping.
When you look at the numbers from the practical side, you go, holy shit, like, this is what people go through. And you just, like, even when you're working as a lawyer, you can't think about it. You're like, look, 4 years isn't so bad. And you think about that and you go, what would 4 years of being gone from your home do to you?
Oh,
Maybe make you change your mind about ever committing crime again?
I don't know, man. Like, this is crazy.
Rehabilitation? Maybe you don't get rehabilitated?
This is like iDubbbz learning empathy at 30, but Rekieta learned it at 40. Like, you just now, like, started to use empathy. I wonder what it would be like to go to jail for years.
Well,
really?
A lot of the times, not only is it for rehabilitation, but it's like, this guy just killed someone. Let's get him away from the public for 10 years.
This is what he's admitting is what he's admitting is, as this person says, he was a lawyer and didn't understand the implications of the law.
Yeah.
So he just didn't even understand his own supposed trade of expertise.
Yeah.
Would you have a home when you came back? Would you have a family? Would you have a job? How do you start back over? Like, it's crazy.
These are the things that make you. These are the things that prevent you from breaking laws in your mind.
It's a deterrent, right? Where you're like, I really wish I could just steal this Switch 2 instead of paying Nintendo. But if I smash it out of the Best Buy case and take it, and I get caught, well, then I'm going to be, away from my family for years, and I won't have a job, and I might get like, I don't know, man. Like, these are like basic, like, you know, when you're in school, like, you want to stand up, tell the teacher to go himself, but the consequence of that, oh, I might go to detention. You know, I won't be able to have fun after school or something. Like,
yes, deterrence.
this is basic. This is basic concepts.
Think about it.
You know, by the way, are we saying that like it's perfect? No, there are some times where there's a bullshit conviction, or it's like it's not fully proven.
Well, obviously, but it's not in this case.
Not in this case.
In this case, the guy got better off than he should have.
Exactly.
You know? Like,
exactly.
It's been one of the most enlightening parts of all this. Where was it? Oh, yes. But the stay of adjudication that I got is 5 years. Now, probation works like this. I have
By the
5
way,
years of.
Oh, shit. Ashton, who got it the worst? Coach Red Pill.
yeah.
Coach Red Pill. He learned.
Coach Red Pill died in a
jail,
gulag, bro. Like,
probation. But if I'm compliant with probation, I accomplish the tasks that have to be accomplished, which I've already done almost all of them prior to probation. And the court has recognized that is already complete.
Mm-hmm.
For specifically drug treatment. I went through the treatment program. It took 40 hours. It was like group sessions with it was group sessions with a bunch of guys.
Get it out. There's no flow.
oh man,
There's no sentences that connect to
he's
each other.
still fried. Like, it's just his
Okay,
go
okay.
scattershot his brain.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, and then I'm with the people and we're doing like some group sessions, and it's like these like pauses between every fourth word, and
Hot. No, it's pretty cool. Like, you get to meet people who are
meet people. It's pretty cool. Say it in one sentence.
in various stages of their treatment.
Junkified. Holy fuck.
And I was assigned to 40 hours. Some of the guys in there are assigned to years and years of treatment. It's crazy. Think about. But assuming I get done with like, the only thing I've left to do would be the 80 hours of community service. And then it's just literally the monitoring and drug testing. So assuming I get done with the 80 hours of community service, being compliant with the rest of it, with the monitoring, they can terminate my probation early. I don't know how long.
Listen,
that would be.
listening. It might be terminated early. Here's my thing, Rekieta. He's acting as though, like, you know, compliance with the PO is just a done deal. Like, it's just, it's easy. And for a lot of people, it would be. But the thing is, this is Nick Rekieta, who's the most egotistical, prideful, megalomaniacal narcissist on the face of the earth. This guy does not like being told what to do, and will whine and fight and cry and piss and moan and defy the PO's orders and just be generally a shitty person to work with. And so he's going to probably piss off the PO and get f***ed. But even if that doesn't happen, even if he is like totally compliant and meek and submissive to the PO and does what he's told, which I really doubt is going to happen, it still requires him to be sober for a long, long time. So even if he does avoid the jail time, the initial 28 days, chances are at some point in the next number of years, he is going to up, and then he will get 21 months in prison. And that's just what's gonna happen. I hate to say it. Hopefully, for the sake of his kids, he figures it out and he repents and lives a new life.
He won't.
But that's probably not gonna happen.
He won't. And by the way, too, even if he acts nice to the PO, it's not 100% they're gonna not put you in jail for 28 days. Like, it's not 100%.
They may have already made up their mind that he's going.
Yeah, or they watched this stream and went, oh, so he's not repentant at all? Okay, well, this guy.
It really is going to just be case by case. I'm hoping that it's obviously shorter than 5 years, but we'll see.
Folks, remember, this is at 1.25 speed, by the way.
Oh my God.
So that's the main part of what happened. The stay of adjudication, and it comes with probation, the terms of which, like I said, 80 hours of community service. But there was this very confusing thing that came up. The presumptive sentence, if I were found guilty and not having this probationary period, is 21 months in prison. Just a long time. That's for a first-time offender with no criminal record at all. 21 months in prison. Yep. And deviating from that up or down requires justification by the court. So they don't like to do that. In addition to that, though, as a condition of probation,
he's talking like with his pauses, like he's like saying something like epic and poetic and like really
meaningful and profound.
Makes you think.
But it's just at the end of the day, it's just the ramblings of a drug addict.
Yeah, like it's just like holy shit, dude.
The judge imposed a 30-day sentence to the county jail, minus the 2 days that I served. And this confused people because there's a line after that that says that the confinement, the 30 days, is available to be deferred if the terms of
listening to him was like walking up a hill.
We all clearly know, by the way, how it works.
Yes, it's not that hard.
Probation are.
It feels like I'm walking up a hill right now. Like, okay, I'm getting there.
Complied with. Now, they misspelled complied, I believe, and they misspelled if to of. And that typographical error caused some confusion. But here's how it works. I'm to report to the jail on August 1st at 7 p.m.
We know.
Unless I comply with probation.
So this is how we've all explained it. Nobody has explained it any differently than this. Right now, you are due to report to jail August 1st. But if you complete the program to the PO's specifications, then it might be deferred. Keyword is might be deferred. As of right now, you are set to head there August 1st.
Yes.
That's a fact.
San Diego, August 1st.
Basically just means that I'm taking my random drug testing and meet with the probation officer as necessary, which is actually way less than I thought it was going to be.
I hope he slips on a fucking in a grocery store on like a thing of beer. Like a grocery store guy like drops beer and then he's like walking by and slips and then the beer enters his skin. It fucks him.
And then he gets busted on that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the thing is, right? He set up, let's be real, he set up the whole vodka pasta thing as his preemptive cope for when he fails, which, by the way, we know he's failed drug tests before. He had one drug test where he pissed hot for booze. It's a matter of public record.
Vodka pasta.
From his, but this is... Earlier in the video, remember when he said, I could have pasta that has a vodka sauce.
Oh, okay.
And then I could test positive. He's setting up for when he fails.
Okay, yeah. It's like when Elaine was positive for heroin, but it was because she was eating poppy seeds.
Right.
I do that. On August 2nd, it goes away. That 30-day jail time.
The poppy seeds? Yeah, okay.
Will disappear.
That's the next cope.
That's what the deferment actually means. In practicality. So what was explained to me by the probation office is that it's effectively a way to give people, remember who these people are normally dealing with when they're dealing with criminals, I guess.
He's different than the other criminals, right?
Yeah.
He's special. He's not like the other addicts. Remember who they're usually dealing with. Well, the people they're usually dealing with, they look a lot like you, actually.
In fact, he looks
they
worse
look
than
like
a lot
fucking
of them.
ghouls. Well, we got the real Mormon Shaggy for 5 subs.
What's up
Let's
there,
get
Captain?
some stuff. Let's go.
Yeah, by the way, he's like, oh, you know who they're actually dealing with? Yeah, they're dealing with you.
Yeah.
And what sort of behavioral issues they may have. It's to give people a kick in the ass. Like, you have to do this.
Yes. You have behavioral issues as well.
That's what you need. You need a kick in the ass. I don't know what to say.
You need a be in the ass.
Have to, because a lot of these people they'll get sentenced to probation. They won't go sign up, for example. Then they got to track them down. It's a big pain. Or they'll sign up and they'll do it for a couple of days and then they'll disappear because they go on a drug bender, or they leave the state, or they get involved in criminal activity, or they get injured and are like, who knows?
It sounds like something that you would do. A drug binge, yes.
But so they stopped doing it. So this is an option to kind of kick him in
the
pants.
Not him.
Here you go. You can go to jail if you don't kind of get things rolling, rather than break up the entire probation and send them to prison. Because prison is expensive for the state, and they have a limited amount of beds, and they don't want to send people there that don't belong there.
Yeah, but you do.
I love how he says he doesn't belong there. It's like, bro, I don't know. You did the crime as the same as a bunch of other people that are there. You endangered your children and your wife. Like, maybe you do belong there.
You know, if you were innocent, I would think otherwise.
That's the thing too, medicinal felon. If he's so smart, you know, and he's above all these other criminals, then why did he get caught? You gotta think like
that's kind of how it would.
And Andy Worski got away with using cocaine
for
years.
2 years straight.
And he didn't get a conviction. You
and I
somehow
got swatted.
Fucked up worse than Worski.
I got swatted.
On this issue.
Cops entered my house. I talked to them and they never found out.
Oh my
okay.
God.
Was explained to me by the
Ian Miles
child I was like,
situation.
Why bother? Like, if I violate probation, I go to prison for 21 months. Like, that's my reality is that. And for them, like, why would you impose this 28 days? I mean, you just throw me in prison. So that was what the confusion was about. Sika Lother says Jake and Logan Paul knew how to retain their audience by feigning contrition and pretending to be sorry. Ooh. Even Aaron Imholt knew how to do that. One has to be brain dead and not smart to know how to fake remorse, to not know how to fake remorse.
The truth. Bravo to the super chatter. Like, read alert, Rekieta. Read alert. He doesn't even know how to feign contrition. How to feign remorse is how dumb this guy is. It's crazy.
Yes.
Even in front of a judge. Anyone who thinks I didn't have remorse in front of the judge is insane. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know what to say.
I mean, you can say that. It doesn't make it so. I mean, we're listening to you right now.
Maybe feigning remorse right now.
It sounds like you have no remorse. Like, the guy is fighting with the law and saying that the law is wrong and he shouldn't be punished because he's not a real criminal like those filthy poor people. It's like, obviously you don't have any remorse. You're talking about how you miss that life. You wish you could still live that life. And you just, at no point are you showing any genuine repentance of your actions at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see.
In fact, it's quite the opposite of repentance. It's,
he's digging in his heels. He's doubling down.
Yeah, he's doubling down.
My remorse wasn't fake at all either. Like that, I don't know why you would. One, why would you fake remorse? But two, I had tons
because
of it.
I mean,
I put my family through.
Like, what a thing, by the way, is like, why would you fake remorse so that, you know, people at least feel like you're sorry? You know, like, I don't know. Like, why would you apologize? I don't know, bro. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Why would you grovel to a judge to hopefully, even if you don't feel that way, to trick them and be innocent?
He's just angry that he got caught. That's it. That's it.
But even dumb criminals will be like, "Yo, judge, I'm so sorry. I'll never do that again." The next day, they're fucking doing the same thing. Like, at least they'll know how to, like, get away with it. He's like, "This is you guys are fucking." I don't know.
I thought it would not.
Like we're just spinning our wheels here.
Impact.
Oh yeah,
because you just keep it away from the kids. You keep it away.
Well, yeah,
no
his
one around.
Opening statement to the judge was to tell the judge he's smart. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
No one around us knew that I was using at all. Unless
Stop!
Everyone did. I did.
Everyone did. Everyone knew you were on drugs.
Why you were caught. By the way, this wasn't like
crazy.
Or this wasn't like he was walking in a store and dropped a bag of coke in front of a cop.
Oh, you gotta
This wasn't like you know, you drop coke in front of a cop, or like, no, this was like someone going, "Listen, there's something going on in there." Everyone,
they were like, certain people did because, you know, they.
Oh wait.
Oh,
this is like rich
nobody
today,
knew,
rich tomorrow.
But certain people knew. He's contradicting himself in the next sentence.
Okay.
And that's the thing, is like, so many things he says are so contradictory throughout all of this and just constantly undercut him.
Yeah.
Would use with you or whatever, or you knew they didn't care. But no one who would care knew anything about it. Let's see. Mr. Ubercross says, I've worked a lot of children's division cases. 5 months is insanely fast. Never had one go that quick. Also, based on my experience in my state, you got a good deal on the criminal case as well. I'm really happy for you with those results. Yeah, I mean, it turns out that a bunch of people wanted me to do stuff. They wanted me to pursue my case with my business in mind.
What?
And with a focus on preserving my reputation, which wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't. People.
Well, no, I mean, listen, bro.
People decide
if you were just more honestly, if you just never said anything at all, your reputation would be a lot better than it is now. Even if like it came out, your daughter tested positive for cocaine, you would still be in a better position than you are now, just by the fact that you weren't constantly coping and lying and insulting people's intelligence. And it's just your entire smug demeanor throughout this honestly has people more tilted than what's been going on. I mean, obviously, your daughter testing positive for coke is the worst thing in this entire saga, but it's the constant lies and deflections and coping and thinking you're smarter than everybody that leads to people not letting this go. And they're being determined to force you to have some level of repentance or remorse, man.
I think the worst thing in this saga is the naked twister with Aaron. To be honest,
It is.
I betrayed some standard that
Me Too, dead
that they
whore.
believe I created. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. It's kind of tough because one point in your life you believe something, and then another point in your life you believe something else. I never thought I'd do hard drugs at all. When I started this YouTube channel, I had never touched anything harder than a little marijuana. And years prior, I kind of hate weed entirely because I don't like depressants that much, except for liquor.
Other than booze, yeah.
But this is not my thing.
And the ketamine.
So I never thought I would do hard drugs.
The ketamine is.
And the brown mixture, whatever that was,
And I talked about it on the channel. Like, I don't want to do drugs. Never did. But then I did some, and I really, really enjoyed it. Like, there's
So this
no
guy,
bones to make about that.
he started hard drugs at 40. This isn't some young person who doesn't know better. This is a guy who is just bored with his life of having a family and having kids, had a midlife crisis, and decided that he was going to start railing coke at age 40.
People don't like how I talk about drugs, but like it happened. I did it. Well, let's.
And you love it, and you're not remorseful. Like, how is he not going? Listen, I like the feeling, but I would never touch it because it ruined my life, and like I had anxiety, and it's like made me
As
think.
I said earlier, like if he just came in and was like, "Oh my God, I lost total control. I was so addicted to it.
It was scary.
It was all I could think about, and I hated it, but I just couldn't quit it." Like people would have more compassion.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who have struggled with addiction themselves. And there's a lot of people who, if they haven't firsthand experienced it, they've witnessed it in a family member or a friend. Pretty much everybody has.
Yeah.
So this isn't something where people lack sympathy. But when you beat your chest and you proudly boast and you're super arrogant and huff your own farts and pretend you're smarter than everybody and you're fooling everybody, nobody will ever have any sympathy for you.
And by the way, it's okay to say like I could say, "Oh, I had fun on coke," but I'm aware that like it turned my life into a trash heap, and it was not worth the fun that I had.
Talk about it.
I think the biggest problem with all of this,
it's like alcohol, right?
Here's the biggest problem with all of this too. The guy just isn't funny, and he's not entertaining.
No,
he's just a boring, annoying mess of a man, if you can even call him that. And so it's like he's just completely unlikable, and he sucks.
Yeah.
So him.
Yeah, he's not talented at all. And by the way, like he was always boring, but what made his shows interesting was the panels. It was like Tonkasaw with Kumite. Tonkasaw was a snooze fest, but he had a lot of guests on that made a great panel, and he knew how to host them.
So this is the local stream that he did beforehand. And this was his first actual appearance, his actual comeback. And what I want to focus on here is when he starts to tell us about how he imagined him getting the plea deal.
By the way, if you're watching the Clip channel, please hit like, please subscribe, and hit that bell. Thank you, everyone. Man, we're at what, 37,000 subs or something? 35,000. Wow, let's keep going.
Ooh, let's go. Incognito Hazard for 5 subs. Let's go.
Fuck yeah, big support.
What's up, guys?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Subs for Jesus.
So I want to point this out. You know, Rekieta, everybody got that letter from Pastor Mellon that he was no longer their pastor because he's retiring from being a pastor. Probably because of the absolute shitstorm you brought upon his congregation.
Whoa.
But I don't know if he's saying that like Pastor Mellon specifically sent him a letter talking shit. Like maybe Rekieta asked him for a letter of reference for his sentencing or what. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Rekieta received like the general letter the pastor sent out or if it's like some special letter that says F you for being a piece of shit. I don't know.
That guy could give, by the way, nothing nice to say about him
By
at
the
all.
way, like nothing nice to say about the guy. The guy multiple times tried to intervene and save you from the path of destruction that you were on, bro. Like the guy tried. You understand you got fired from church because you were teaching the kids that Jesus wasn't God, and you were teaching them that Jesus is racist, and you were teaching them that Jesus would be on a stripper pole for money. Like this is the crazy stuff that he was saying. You know, and that's why he got removed from his position at the church because the guy was clearly not in his right mind. And, you know, you're bringing your mistress to church that you're in like an open relationship swinger situation with. You're obviously like stinking of booze and fucking drugs, like sweating in the pew. We have footage of you shaking in the pew. Like the fault isn't on the pastor. He did everything he could for you. The fault is on you for putting absolutely no respect to anything that he tried to do. Shame on you.
The document, though, that revealed the pastor's name and one of Kayla's sisters as the people who reported it, unredacted. I don't have that.
So, by the way,
I don't have that.
Kayla's own sister was concerned and put her name on it. Just saying, bro. Like, this isn't like some crazy, oh, these Christian yokels just don't understand. Like, no, bro, stop.
That is actually would be illegal for the state to give me that document unredacted, the way it was leaked out the day after I was arrested. That leaking is actually illegal. Whoever did that violated Minnesota statute.
So we're supposed to be concerned about those Minnesota statutes, but not the fact that your children were starving, they were stinking, you were out of your mind masturbating on live stream. It's like, okay, I don't know, bro. Like they're both crimes. We're supposed to ignore your crimes, but be concerned about this. It's, oh my goodness, they leaked the document.
Also, it makes your thing innocent now. I'm glad they leaked it. I hope they leak more.
You're libertarian, sir.
I hope they leak more.
To protect the people reporting. But just to give people an idea of why at the beginning of this, I was so incensed.
All right, put it on faster speed.
At what happened and how it came about. At the end of the day, of course, I'm the guy who had the cocaine in his house. So it's my fault. That's on me. But if you complain about something.
No, stop. You see, you were so close. He was so close. He's like, yeah, it was my coke. It's my fault. But okay. But I have to cry about it. Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that the other things that happened aren't true. But at the beginning of this, I was very angry for lots of reasons. Now I just wanted it to be done and was ready for it to be done. I've been looking forward to Friday since January. Now the jail thing was a little bit of a surprise. The thing that makes you mad is that the people who made the reports, people think that is people from our church. They were not. I know exactly who all of them are.
Tell us.
And the crazy thing, wasn't he the mandatory reporter?
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like you've lied so often about this case that I just don't even believe you.
Yeah, lie.
Every single story that was reported as part of that initial report.
But here's the thing. Wait. So
hold
on. I just realized. So he's saying the church had nothing to do with it now, but wasn't the whole defense with Dick Masterson that it was a bunch of Scandinavian incel prude Christians that just didn't understand his hard partying ways?
In which I had a really shitty day and stupidly used substances to try and compensate for that while going live. Bad choice. Very, very bad choice.
Like every day.
But the people who
I love the
that,
thing is he's like, he was just having a bad day, guys. It wasn't an everyday thing, even though he wasn't going live every day because he was obviously doing drugs and partying.
Yeah, and having orgies.
You know?
The stories that they told, the ones that are out there, like me driving lethargic and then excited, like lethargic.
Why are we supposed to disbelieve that? Yeah. Because you're lethargic on stream all the time. You're fucked up and shit. You're staying up until the late hours of the night every fucking day. So I'd imagine even if you weren't hungover and drunk, you'd still probably be pretty tired from being up streaming and then getting up and going to church. I'm going to assume, bro.
Yeah.
Like high is what it said. They're all based on truth.
Okay. They're based on truth.
And they're all knowing lies that were.
Okay.
Whoa.
What?
It's based on truth, but it's knowing lies?
Generated
lies
by people who had
truth.
no idea about any drug use at all.
But they were based on truth.
But they saw that you were on drugs. Like you were on drugs. You've admitted you're on drugs and drugs. This is where it's just like the most insane shit.
They actually were suspicious of my relationship with April.
And you were on drugs.
So they decided.
Oh, we saw the video from the church that was posted where you kept going in and out.
Here's the thing, though, Rekieta. Having a mistress isn't illegal. At least not anymore. It hasn't been for like 70 years or whatever, right? Having a mistress isn't illegal. Having an ounce of cocaine in your house is, though. You see?
Yeah.
So it wasn't just that you were living a godless, adultering lifestyle in a swinging cuckold sex cult, okay, of baldoing. It was also that you were drunken on drugs 24/7, 365, and your children were suffering, and you obviously weren't maintaining. Like he thought that he was passing as sober. Come on, bro. Anyone with eyes could see the physical difference in your appearance. You look like a fucking ghoul.
Yep.
To use that to involve the government to police my relationship decisions.
It was a lot more than that.
Joking. In fact, one of the people directly involved told the CPS investigators.
We read the report.
Yeah.
Does he think that we have the memory that he has of goldfish where just if men in black erases?
That their purpose was to, because of the suspected relationship, take the children away from Kayla and I.
Well,
That's
you know what?
happened.
Maybe that was righteous, to be honest. I don't know why children should have to grow up in a disgusting swinger household where their parents are introducing new mummies and daddies and disturbing sexual dynamics in a drug den of debauchery and filth where the children's clothes aren't being cleaned and they're not being fed. I genuinely don't think we should have to tolerate such things. And I think that they were in the right. And I think that they saved your life. And maybe you should have apologized and thanked them.
Those people, I don't know when to talk about this. I have to have close contact with those people all the time. And it was not our church congregation. I know that Aaron's talked about that a lot. Like, oh,
you talked about that a lot. Remember Dick Masterson debating with Stardust and like, you understand how these churches are. These people aren't normal. And they think anything is heroin. They think just smoking a joint's like shooting heroin into your eyeballs, and it's like reefer madness. Da, 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 ha, 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 ha. Like, we all remember this happening, no?
The Bible, too. If this retard thinks that a pastor wrote a sermon based on something that he
listen to this
might have noticed the week prior, that he wrote his Easter sermon, because it was Easter, was the church service that Aaron talks about a lot. Where he felt super judged by everybody. That was all him.
Okay.
Like, that's just in his head.
No, that was not in his head. He was judged. And I'll just like, this is my area of expertise, by the way. Yes, preachers and pastors write really passive aggressive sermons about problems that they know that the members are having all the time. How long do you think it takes to write a sermon, by the way, bro? Like genuinely, you really think that this shit is like planned out like massively in advance? Most preachers, honestly, though, like it takes them maybe 3 days. 3 days is very generous, but also a lot of pastors, they'll just have like their sermons in the filing cabinet and they just repeat the same ones over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like a lot of preachers have their set of about 60 sermons. They do a year at a congregation and then they move to the next one. He has no idea about the process of writing a sermon or how long it takes. Like I actually do know. And I do know he could have easily ad-libbed his pre-existing sermon to make references to you on Easter.
Yeah.
It's really not that hard, bro.
Pastors write their sermons, especially for big days like Easter, months ahead of time.
Months?
It's not months ahead of time unless they already have like the same one that they trot out every year.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
they're not just winging it on the fly. But yeah, it's been a long year because again, at the end of the day,
that's so funny. By the way, the pastor is saying references to what he's seeing in Nick and like the
because it's like when you have a family that's clearly struggling, sometimes that you feel like, okay, if we call them out in a way where there's some deniability, but in reality, everyone in the congregation knows what's going on, then maybe they'll feel some degree of
shame
and alter their behavior. This is how the church controls people's behavior, is social shame. But you can't shame somebody as shameless as this. The church couldn't help him. It's just sad.
Are the pastors a Kiwi farmer?
It was still me who had the stuff. Like that shouldn't have resulted in what it did. And
Melty he goes, I've seen pastors wing it to call out some new attendees with longer hair on boys or pants on girls. This happens all the time. I've seen it where somebody shows up not dressed right, and then there's like a pointed remark. This happens all the time. You know, this happens all the time.
God expects you to come
so petty.
to his house.
It can be so petty and so political.
I mean? Yeah, like
it can be like
suspicious stuff still about the warrant. But hey, we lost his arguments in court. I don't think they were very well made. I don't want to shit on my lawyer.
I don't want to shit on my lawyer, but he does. He wants to shit on his lawyer so bad. But
that's why I don't want to do it. That's why I'd much rather do this. This is much more natural for me. Lawyering is a very, very difficult job, and sometimes things get missed. And sometimes things aren't as well written.
Get ready. This is amazing.
In your head, you know what you want to say.
Yeah.
Since you know the narrative, when you write the thing down, you're like, no, I said what I needed to say. And then someone else reads it and they're like, nope, I don't get this at all. The judge clearly didn't even get the argument that we were making. But at the same time,
the judge wasn't high IQ enough to understand Rekieta's filings. And he wonders why he lost, by the way. It's that the judge was a dumb idiot head. Maybe it was that you and your lawyer didn't have a fucking leg to stand on and you were just throwing shit at the wall trying to make it stick.
I don't think we were.
Rekieta, you were guilty.
Yeah.
It's not like he's innocent and the lawyer was a retard and fucked it all up. And it's like, well, now you look guilty because.
But aren't you also a lawyer, Rekieta? Couldn't you have made sure their work was accurate?
Whoa.
I'll be honest though. The lawyers he got are probably better lawyers than he is.
Well, yeah, they are.
And the reason that they failed was because he insisted on stupid strategies that were egotistical and nonsensical, is actually why they probably failed as bad as they did in court and got such a shitty deal.
We're going to get the warrant thrown out. This is a very small county, and the judge going against any part of a drug raid jeopardizes just about everything. There was some shady stuff about the warrant.
It's a conspiracy. Listen, like, what do you mean there's some shady stuff about the warrant? How about you tell us what was shady about the warrant, Rekieta? You know, you're basically making this out to be a conspiracy. You're saying that if the judge ruled against you, this would have completely destroyed the entire justice system in Kandiyohi County. Can you show your work, sir, on how any of this makes sense?
Oh, the conspiracy.
Still stuff in discovery that we never got. Stuff that actually matters. I will probably at some point go through some of the audio and video stuff from my case.
How about you do
to
it
illustrate
now?
specifically these types of instances. The way, like, I was not treated
Just trust
poorly.
me,
Don't
bro.
get me wrong, but I was treated with an
Okay.
uncharacteristic hostility.
Well, it's
from the
same rules
detective who,
apply.
was
You were uncharacteristically
I guess the lead
hostile
invest-
towards
the lead
the
detective
court and the
who,
entire
did the homemade.
process.
One of my favorite moments during this stupid thing
This is
was
amazing.
I was
Listen
in
to
jail,
this.
and they wanted to ask me some more questions. So I said, okay. I said, I'm not going to answer anything that, is a Fifth Amendment.
Yeah, bro,
issue. Didn't really
Like
see any
he
benefit to
tells
it, but I wanted
everybody
know
not
what they
to
were
talk to the
what they
cops,
knew.
and then he talked to the cops.
The first thing
He
the cop
thinks
does
that he was going to learn what
sitting
they
across
knew.
from me, he says,
He's so
I
dumb.
got you. And here I am, black eye, right? I think at this point they have me in my blue jumpsuit.
Because he
I'm
did have you.
strung out at this point.
You had,
'cause,
you're
I was
strung out because
sober,
you're on drugs.
when I was arrested.
Stop.
that
You're
doesn't mean
on
I had been
drugs.
sober the entire time,
Oh my
leading
God,
up to
it's
that.
so
I'm just
pedantic.
livid because I've had to endure having my house searched and
You
find
had
out my
to
kids are
endure
going to be taken away for a day. That's what we were told, was that our kids would be taken away for a day just because we were going to be in jail overnight. So they bring me in for this interview and he says, I got you. And I'm like, bro, I don't know anything about you. Have I been evading you? Have we been
But
doing
this
this dance
is-
for a while?
Like,
They acted like I
Rekieta, this
mattered.
is a
But
common.
they acted
Oh
like
my
I
God.
was Scarface. Or
We
something.
need
This
Andy
guy had
back
been
to
investigating me. So
pause.
now that he finally got me, it's like,
This is a common interrogation tool, Rekieta, is to say, we have all the evidence, you're guilty, we have you, you may as well just confess now. That's what they were doing to you. It was a common interrogation tactic, which he somehow believes was a personal vendetta by the officer against him. When this is like so common. Which, by the way, I just want to point out again, the guy tells everybody, don't ever cooperate with the police. Don't ever ask questions. But Rekieta believed he was so smart and so brilliant that he was going to get insights into the legal strategy of the state through being interrogated by the officer and learn what they knew, that he was going to win the interrogation interaction. It's like, buddy, this is a pretty risky gamble when it's your freedom at stake and the officer really doesn't stand to lose anything. But this is your brilliant constitutional lawyer at work.
According to his search warrant, mind you, he'd been investigating me for at most 7 days. But the way he talked about it was
but Rekieta, officers are allowed to lie to you.
Yeah.
If he wants you to think, I've been investigating you for months, that can be a very effective interrogation tactic in terms of getting you to open up, because you lose hope. He was observing me for months. He must have saw the deals go down. What evidence does he have? But Rekieta is like acting as though this was a straight up interaction, as though the officer wasn't at all utilizing these common tactics in interrogation.
Well, they'll also say, like, we have something big, so you better just tell us now. Or they'll be like, your buddy just told us everything.
Just told us everything. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll do that all the time.
as if he had been after me for months, which is what he indicated to me at my house. And he made a phone call to April's mother, told April's mother that she was high.
She
which
was
they
high.
didn't drug test any of
She
us.
was.
So like that was just, he just made
He
that.
probably looked at her.
Bro,
He probably looked
look,
at her
just-
and went, whoa,
have
buddy.
have you seen her mugshot, Nick? She got arrested like with a mountain of cocaine in the room. Like her credit card had like traces of cocaine on it. Like her card was being used to chop up the coke, but you know, she wasn't high at
Yeah,
all.
that's illegal to assume that she's high.
that up. She also wasn't high, but he also told April's
We don't believe you.
Why even argue that point?
That's stupid.
Why?
Yeah. No one believes that.
mother. They've been looking into me for months. Now I have no discovery about this.
Okay.
All those documents just don't exist. And that phone call also just doesn't exist. And I hate that it's taken so long for me to start streaming, but it got to a point where eventually it was like, you've this far, you know that on April 18th, you're done. You know at that point.
But you went on Melton's fucking stream in chat. We're tweeting. You were phoning into
Well,
Melton's. Like, you didn't
What's
care.
crazy is he's going to say like he wouldn't say something to jeopardize his case. But what's crazy is he told us the whole time that there's nothing you could say that could ever jeopardize your case.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
And unless something crazy happens, you are being sentenced on April 18th. Just wait and don't anything up by talking.
But I thought
We
that
were
was
blindsided.
impossible.
Yeah.
Because the recommendation from the pre-sentence investigation of 28 days, but 30 days with 2 days already served
This is
of
amazing.
jail time came out of nowhere. And my plea agreement specifically relied on this, that there would be no further executed jail time. That was a huge part of our negotiations. Now, it didn't make it into my plea document.
So apparently the entire negotiations was about there being no jail time, right? But it didn't make it into the plea document. He actually is about to say that he imagined that it was in the document, but it never was. This
Lawyer
is
was
the
not available.
best, bro.
So I
the
wasn't
this is
lying?
the cope is the lawyer wasn't available. This is the cope.
Oh.
For that plea hearing. And so his law partner came out to help. He and I didn't have the same rapport and the same amount of time spent with each other or anything like that. So I'm there pleading guilty to a felony, which is terrifying. If you've never done it, I don't recommend it. But so I reviewed the plea document.
Listen,
and in my
he read the plea document. This is what's crazy. This guy is supposedly a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
He supposedly understands legal documents. He read the entire plea document, and in his head, he believed that it stipulated there was no jail time, but it didn't anywhere in the document. He imagined that he had a plea deal for no jail time.
Oh.
head, it had, encapsulated the concept that there would be no further jail time.
In your head.
This is the craziest
Not
part of
on
the whole
document?
thing. Not in
Because
the
I was-
document that
What
he
the-
read. Not in the document that he read.
In the room with the prosecutor, when she told my lawyer the state is not going to pursue further jail time, like that happened. In
That
my
happened
head now,
in his
like,
head.
when I think,
That happened. He goes like, that happened in my head.
You probably
Like,
thought
he's
about
just-
it.
He's just admitting to being totally delusional. He's like, yeah, I heard this conversation. And then when I went back, he admits this, when I went back and I looked at the transcripts, no such conversation ever occurred.
You probably thought about it in his head, like out loud in his, or not like, you know what I mean? Like he was just thinking. And then
This
it became
to me
reality.
is like
It
the
became reality.
craziest. This is the craziest
That's
thing, man.
scary. That's what drugs does to you, folks.
think back, I see that happening in the courtroom, but it didn't. I went through the transcript. 2 days ago, I would have swore
This
to you that
must
happened
be
in court.
scary,
on the
bro.
record.
He would have swore that it happened in court on the record. But when he went back, it was all in his head. It was all a fantasy. It was all a delusion. It was all a dream that he had. And none of this was real. But he believed it was real. This to me is the craziest part of anything that he revealed during his entire saga, like over the last couple days. It's like, whoa, man. This Mandela affected. This is
And it
what
did not.
happens. Your memory is destroyed by drugs. Like your brain gets.
Yeah, man.
I checked
That's
the transcript
scary.
and it didn't. Well, it
Like
happened
Bla-
in the negotiation room.
Like Black
So when the
Mirror.
pre-sentence investigation recommends this 28 days jail, that I thought, we had discussed there wasn't going to be any. I'm in full-on panic mode because now, I find out like
Suffle
3 or 4
Baldo. Oh man.
Oh.
So he's just in a full-on panic. He's like, "Fuck! I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. I pled guilty, and I'm going to jail."
days. I found out before you guys, obviously.
Are you
but only by
sure?
a couple days.
No way.
And so
Bullshit.
then,
Bullshit.
I don't think so because he was being smug as
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I went into full-on
I'm not heading to
panic
jail.
mode because I now didn't know if I was going to go home on Friday. So that was, that was a possibility.
by the
for
way,
me.
it's like it was the best deal. I negotiated such a good deal that I had no idea I had pled guilty to jail time. And 3 days before the hearing, I was shitting my pants. A tremendous deal. Nobody could have negotiated it better. Now, did I get the maximum on everything applicable? Yes. And did I even know what I had agreed to? No. And did I imagine conversations in my mind that never happened? Yes. But it was tremendous. It'd make your head spin. Come on.
And that is terrifying. We got confirmation on Thursday
Terrifying, yes.
that the state was not going to ask for for any more than the executed jail time. That was it was in the report. The state wasn't going to ask for it. And then on
Nice.
Friday, we went to court. The judge still actually ignored the state, and he It's not a sentence. It's a probation condition. But he added the probation condition of 28 days jail time.
The cope. Oh my God, the cope.
30
Stop.
minus the 2. However, what everybody missed, the deferment is that I will not go to jail as long as I am compliant with probation on the date, or up through the date of the jail reporting. August.
It's not for sure a thing.
1st. I believe it's 7 p.m.
He was found innocent in his dreams. There was a man. He told me in a dream I was innocent, Your Honor. He looked just like you.
No, it used to be. I always liked when people met me out in public.
Source, it came to me in a vision.
This one's so funny. Like Rekieta's like, I used to like it when people met me out in public because they'd suck my but now people are mean to me because my daughter tests. This is what he's saying.
Or
it's
wherever
brutal.
it to be. I always liked when people met me out in public or wherever. It was fun. It's not always fun now.
Oh, people are like,
oh no.
People have changed their
little
tune.
baby. Oh,
wait, people changed their tune. You think? You used to be a famous law tuber, like doing like hundreds of thousands of viewers, making tons of money. Now you're known as the junkie guy.
Usually because they believe the most ridiculous accusation. They believe that I would give a child cocaine.
That's not what we believe that you left some out and there was exposure.
I mean, listen, it's possible. Some people believe that you dosed your own daughter because you told Aaron Holte that cocaine is medicinal and your daughter has ADHD. And the idea is you're such a wacko because you believe that cocaine treated your stress instead of actually making you more stressed, which is what it really does. Okay. That you might have given her it medicinally. Alternatively, people are like, the guy, it was a drug den. The house was a fucking mess. There were multiple users in the house. The idea that misplacing cocaine that a younger child got into is also very likely. But what's not likely is your explanations, which make no sense.
Yeah.
That a police officer's had trace amounts of cocaine on his hand, which then he touched the top of her head, which then caused her to test positive. That's not how the tests work.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that's not how they work. And you're just selling bullshit, bro.
It could have been too. He was cutting some coke on the coffee table and then left the residue up there. And she fucking just like swiped her hand and ate it, or had food
by the
and
way,
ate on it. Like
the reading was not a trace reading. It was like the reading of a daily user.
Oh yeah,
which is
over time. Yeah.
Which is why people lean towards the idea that you dosed her medicinally.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, you refuse to take responsibility for this positive test. He's going to cope by the way that, oh, I couldn't take her for another test because I didn't have custody. But you know who did have custody? The grandparents, your parents. They wouldn't take her for another test? Really?
Listen, I believe there was something crazy happening.
Which, a couple things. One, that's absurd. No one wants, like, especially if you're partying in the way that I'm alleged to have been partying, you definitely don't want a child on a stimulant.
Why would you want them in general?
What he's saying is that it would have harshed his good time and buzz to give her cocaine. That's what he's saying. And so that therefore we know that he definitely didn't do it because he was interested in having a good time and partying. That's what he's saying.
My God.
That will keep them awake and make them annoying.
Oh my God.
I mean, why even say this, man? Like, it's not funny, bro. It's everything he takes so lightly. It's a ha ha ha. It's a joking matter, but this is a 9-year-old testing positive for a hard drug, bro.
You're your kid.
Come on.
I wonder why people in public hate you.
I don't know if you've ever been around people who are doing cocaine when you're not. Like, they're annoying. So, you would never do that to a child just for the simple fact that it's really annoying. But two, oh my God. Like,
when you make statements like that, how can you be surprised when you get sentenced to 30 days?
Is he trying?
How can you get surprised when you get five years of probation? I guess it's like an attempt at a joke.
I can't tell if he's joking because it actually happened, though.
None of that ever happened. And I like that'll go with me to my grave both ways, because the internet has people who are stupid enough to think that it did. It definitely did not.
Well, you've lied about everything so far, so I don't believe you.
It's not like it was invented out of whole cloth, though. There was a positive test for cocaine, and you had cocaine in the house, a lot of it. So it's not like this is all only stupid, unreasonable people would believe that. Pretty much everybody would believe that.
I'm starting to believe it more and more, to be honest, the more he speaks.
There's no way I would ever do that. At some point, with Kayla's permission, I will probably play the audio recording of the CPS worker.
Do we really have to? Do we really believe that it's Kayla who's stopping this evidence from being unearthed? If it would vindicate them and their family, like he's just using Kayla as an excuse to not present evidence. You know what I'm saying? She has no voice in any of this.
Telling us about the test, which we were told about, I believe, one day before our hearing. We did not have the opportunity to hire an expert, and they didn't have to ever like justify or validate the test. And I can explain this all at some point. But
like the test is valid because the test is valid, bro. You know, everybody in the town goes to the same lab and gets the same test. But what Rekieta is arguing is that the whole institution of testing is corrupt and that they only return positive tests, and it's just designed to scam people and send them to jail.
It's such a weird subject that combines all of the.
But if they did that, then wouldn't they put him in jail? Why would they release him and drop that charge?
Well, I know, right? It's like Schrodinger's conspiracy. Like, you know, it's they treated me bad, they railroaded me, but also they let me have this plea deal where I don't have to go to prisons. Okay.
Yeah.
These different factors, one with how juvenile and family court goes, and the reduced standard that they have, and the standard that they have to meet. It's two different standards.
This guy is one of the dumbest people I've ever heard.
Oh yeah. The thing is, the guy thinks he's so smart. But the gap between where his intelligence he thinks it is and where it actually is so wide. And as Richard Spencer said to Sargon, that's a difficult place to be. When you think you're smarter than you actually are, it's a really difficult place to be.
The standard that they have to meet is just a preponderance of evidence, whereas in criminal court, they have to get beyond a reasonable doubt. But the other standard that they have to meet was not to prove that the child ingested a substance actually at all.
Well, they actually
had
did,
to prove
though.
was that there was a preponderance of the evidence.
But they proved, like the test proves that there was exposure to cocaine. Now, whether or not you gave it to her, it was accidental, or that's up for debate. But the child did test positive for cocaine, man. You had cocaine in the house. It's not like they tested positive for a drug you didn't have in the house.
Yeah.
1% likelihood that there was an ongoing issue with children's safety to be returned to the home, because that's all they did was to say that this test shows that something happened. And I can show you.
He has the Rumble thing. Is he on Rumble too still?
By the way, Rekieta, if you're all about like an open process, then why did you have the records for the family case sealed? Because if the records were open for this family court case, we could all see exactly what happened. But because you petitioned the court for them to be sealed, even though on your own show, on your own broadcast, you selfishly advocated for all of this stuff to be out in the open so that everybody could know, but in your own personal case, you wanted it sealed, then we would all know. And we wouldn't have to just go with, trust me, bro, from a guy who's lied every single step of the way.
Is he still on Rumble?
Yeah, but he doesn't have the contract. They don't pay him a fucking penny.
I assume
he lost the contract. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Happened, which I'll do eventually, because we have the officers touching my daughter's hair. And I'll show you the studies as to how cocaine gets into hair.
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that, Rekieta. And we've been over this so many times. Yeah. Just keep playing it.
Specifically, gets and the metabolite. I know, but I'll show you the studies about how it gets into a hair follicle during the washing process, which is supposed to cleanse them.
No, I don't care.
I don't want to hear this. It doesn't work.
The great thing is, since they never accused us of doing anything, they didn't accuse us of exposing our child to cocaine. We never got the chance to defend it. But you'll hear us when they told us about it. And one of the things people are like, why didn't you get another test? Well, two very simple reasons.
Because you knew it would be positive.
No, but he says the child isn't in their legal custody. But am I wrong? I could be wrong. But from my understanding, it went to their parents, the custody. So couldn't Robert have went and taken your daughter for a test in another county at another testing facility? I think he's lying, to be honest.
Well, yeah, it's a full lie. It's a full-on lie. Yeah, 100%.
I could not have taken my child to go get a test, a follow-up.
Well, that's a lie.
Well, lie.
And two, we demanded it from the state.
Lie.
And the state said they were not interested in pursuing a follow-up test.
But
And
buddy,
then
like the way that I understand the documents as they're laid out, they immediately retest.
It was 2 tests.
There was 2 tests because they immediately retest because they're like, there must be something wrong. And the second test confirmed the first test.
Yeah. We went over that document.
That's my understanding of what actually happened. So,
I remember it clear as day. 100%. That's what happened. Like literally.
Never actually used it beyond just showing that there was an issue with children's safety that needed to be resolved before the children could be returned home. This is the problem that the state had is up until that test came in, they had nothing as a factor for why the children could be out of the home, because all of the children specifically said they had never been exposed to drugs. And if they had been exposed to drugs, it would have been from someone else. Now, I say they specifically said that. The state led that question.
I hope he
children, which is why I mentioned it in court. It's like a 7-year-old isn't going to say that.
I hope he fucks up.
Because a 7-year-old doesn't know what cocaine is. Like that. They don't know what drugs are at all.
Now they do. Now they do.
The thing is, though, Rekieta, your 17-year-old, he knew.
Yeah, of
like
course.
to try and pretend like your teenage children did know. They're not fucking stupid. They understand what's going on. And he has the balls to claim that he was never intoxicated in front of his kids.
Stop.
It's just a total lie.
Lie. Yeah.
So
at this point, it's like we're trying to debunk the same thing over and over because he's such a liar. Yeah. It's just every sentence is like,
What he doesn't understand is this is the same problem that DSP ran into, where if you're just never honest and you never take the L and you're always lying and moving the goalposts and saying crazy things, people will go to a crazy extent to prove you wrong and prove that you're a liar. Mm-hmm. And that's how you end up getting situations, even though it was wrong, like people getting DSP's bank records, because they're like, okay, bet, motherfucker. And this is how Rekieta had shit like Minnesota Public Records leaking on him, because he went to such insane extents with his lies and his arrogance and his smugness that people are like, I'll fucking humble you. I'll fucking show you.
Yeah.
So this is just a obvious, don't ever act like this.
Why would they say this? It's only because the county worker led them through that question. That was it. However, all of the kids said they'd never been exposed to drugs. They'd never seen their parents intoxicated. We were blown away.
Lies.
And we wanted to find out. Like, we don't actually know that our child was exposed.
Oh, well, we do.
Because it could have been a sample error.
Right.
Every lab.
Yeah, the house full of cocaine. There was a sample error. Yeah. No.
It just strains credulity. Like if there had been no coke found in the house, then I would be a lot more inclined to believe this.
Yeah, if it was just alcohol and like K, but now there's coke, it'd be like, then it would be like, well, maybe he had coke in the house before and maybe, but this time we can go, no, there was a massive amount of coke. Aaron told us the stories as well. There could have been coke. The bullet was beside Aaron's kid. Remember, full of coke. Like that could have happened. The girl grabbed it and like ingested it.
Well, it's bad when even Punish Grimace just lays it out, bro. They wash the hair before the test. They test for metabolite. Rekieta is a wet brain who couldn't hack it in daddy's playtime law school. You really think he can read papers about fucking laser spectroscopy or whatever the No.
Right.
Well said.
Sample of hair comes in, and for whatever reason, the labels get swapped. And each lab has a rate.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Now
I just can't believe we're doing this song.
The labels were swapped.
But notice how he didn't bring this cope out like during his public stream. He kept this cope like for the local swine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're the only ones that believe this shit.
Yeah. Guys, now it's there's a rate of them swapping tests there was a retest. There was 2 tests. We know that's true. Stop it. There's coke in your house.
That they keep track of. That should be disclosed in discovery. We never got that. They should also have just a general failure rate, both false positives and false negatives.
There's 2
that get overturned on confirmation or whatever. We didn't get that either. We didn't get any of the tools to fight it because they never actually used it. It just got used for that one thing.
Oh my God.
But people ask like, why didn't you get another test? You have no physical custody, so you can't grab your kid and take them. In fact, at that point, especially, we weren't.
Well,
even
you
allowed.
wouldn't want to do a test anyway because you would know that they'd be positive. So,
should we finish the locals cope or should we go to the Minnesota public record?
Let's go to the next one. I think that was good.
All right.
I think if I have to hear him one more time, I'll shoot myself.
It's just the same cope over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Now, this is funny because Rekieta was sure he knew what Minnesota Public Records was going to do. Just go to 1.5.
1.5. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
So he starts like calling it out. Oh, you think you have a court transcript? That's it.
Yeah. I watched this live.
And he got totally blindsided and had no fucking clue.
This is one. Here we go. This is a weird super tip.
Are you going to be able to hack while on probation?
Dude, I can't hack anything. However, I will be at Hackamania.
Why?
So I just want to point this out. This guy is about to ask his probation officer, like a month into probation, to fly to Las Vegas, the city of sin, where it's
coke.
like cocaine, alcohol, strip, like weeds, everything. And it's like, is he real? Like, you think that's wise, bro? I guess his legal defense in his mind is to try and say the officer entrapped him by allowing him to go, knowing he would fail. But it's like, this is not a wise or smart thing to ask for when you're on probation. Just saying.
Buddy, Hackamania will be the reason he heads back to jail.
Are you telling me that Melton isn't going to be trying to feed this guy shots or
weed?
Get him to they're going to be pressing him. Like, what's going to happen is the guy's going to be exposed. There's pictures of him taking Jello shooters out of Vito's belly button or snorting a line off Melton's and then he's going to get totally felted. Yeah. I guarantee these people, they're all going to pressure him. They're all going to pressure him to use, and he's going to totally fold before the peer pressure and use and relapse.
Oh, dude, for sure.
I will be at Hackamania.
What if one of these guys spikes his drink?
Yes. What if someone who hates him is like, I'm going to this would be funny. I'm going to put him in jail for the rest of his life. You know what I mean?
And if you guys want to...
By the way, as an addict who's on probation, why would you want to put yourself in a situation where you'll be tempted? Right?
There is no temptation for him because he's not an addict and he's in complete control, don't you know?
I'm hanging out with a sober Nick Rekieta, which means 100%, well,
by the way,
30% less nudity.
A sober Nick Rekieta is like saying a sick doctor or
okay.
You too can come hang out with me at Hackamania, and you should.
Is Ape going to be there?
I will be there. I got permission to be there from probation, getting the paperwork taken care of.
I refuse to believe that they actually signed off on that. And if they did,
they want him to fuck up.
They just want him to. Okay, yeah, absolutely. You're going to Los. How long? Sure, bud.
Your PO's waiting at the fucking gate.
He's gonna cry and say that the PO set him up. You know.
Yeah, PO's at the gate picking him up for the drug test in the car ride on the way home.
On that,
that's what's gonna happen.
Hopefully this coming week, but. They've said I'm good to go, so I will be there. I wasn't sure if I could go or not. Did you hack Aaron email? No.
He did though. He knows. He's so full of shit. Come on, Rekieta. Oh my God.
I hope that goes through.
Oh, John Jelaine says that nobody knows that falling off the wagon, getting back in the saddle again takes guts.
Come on, read the one.
Having to do it publicly is is a little nerve-wracking. Like it is. Double Trend says, Raggets, we love you. Glad you're back. Hey, thank you. Port Film Co-op says, what's with the cuckoldry stuff you do? I don't.
You do, though.
You do.
You do. He's a cock.
Dude.
All right, let's see here.
God, everything's so provable, like easily provable.
Some are saying in ounces, how much coom did Aaron dump in Kayla? Wow, that's
Oh, bro. These shots are ruthless, bro. Oh, buddy.
Base IRL says, why did your 9-year-old daughter test positive for coke?
Oh, buddy, it's tough. It's tough out there, huh, Rocket? Tough crowd, eh, bud?
By the way, he's doing the read only above $20 donos again.
Yeah.
Actually,
not surprised.
It's a very good question. One I wish I had answers to. I have theories on the test. I believe the test itself is faulty. I don't believe it was her hair. But we never got to challenge it. We never got to fight about it.
I think you gave her coke.
We didn't get to retest.
Now I'm just going to be like the worst possible situation. Oh, you muted yourself.
It's something I'll have to talk about at some point in the future, but it requires a lot of citations. An honest doubter says, plus side, probation will add 10 years to your life. I mean, if you want them, I guess. But World's Man says, enjoy prison stalker, child. Well, no.
Here.
All right, you know what? Let's just go to the bottom line.
He literally says this. He sees Minnesota Public Records posted, and someone told him, and they posted the transcript, and he's like, I was actually worried about that. That's all they posted, the transcript. Turns out it wasn't.
What they have is proof of where April is living. She's still living in Wilmer. She's living 12 miles from the Rekieta house in this fucking crack shack that Rekieta set her up in. And apparently, he may or may not have footage of Rekieta visiting the residence and being in and out. So he's still fucking her. He's still involved with April. It's fucking disgusting. Oh, and then also, just coincidentally as well, we have Montegraph is contacting Aaron Imholte. If we go to the next slide. So that should be interesting. He says, interesting to get a DM from Montegraph. Not my place to say what it is about, but I think he plans on releasing it in time. Decent enough guy. So Rockets might be facing the felting for Montegraph. We'll save the rest of the Rekieta segment for later.
For Wednesday.
Let's take a quick break. Let's take a piss.